Is this thing on? Oh man. I hope it's on. There we go. Should be good to go now. TSS, is that you? Well, I hope it is.
Oh, fucked.
Oh Jesus. I love how your voice like slowly got in closer and closer, man. How you doing,
Yeah,
buddy?
because I moved my microphone. Yeah.
Nice, man.
So I'm actually saying that because about like 25 minutes ago. Now, for the folks out there, and welcome by the way.
Mm-hmm.
For the folks out there that are aware or have gone to Philadelphia or live in the Philadelphia area, there's a guy who runs a website called isseptafucked.com. That's issepta, as in SEPTA, fucked.com. And about half an hour ago, before we got started here, the train status, the regional rail status was turbo fucked because it was like a lot of traffic, well, a lot of delays and all this crap. And actually, I went and I looked because I was thinking about, okay, let's see how much it is to go to Philly from here, and it's still pretty cheap. It's still like, I want to say like $30 round trip.
Wait. The site is real?
Yeah, isseptafuck.com is real.
Is the first words that says their regional rail is and then at the bottom?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, I don't
Yeah,
believe.
about 35 minutes ago, it said that regional rail was turbo fuck.
I I am shocked at the fact that this is legitimately real. Hold on a sec. Let me put this up here for those who want to take this chance to see it, because I didn't think this would actually be real. Hold on. Here we go. What the hell is SEPTA.com? And it says right here, regional rail is fucked. Train number 730 Trenton to Chestnut H East is 18 minutes late. 5 out of 18 trains are late. Average 28.8 minutes late. You may want to look into alternate forms of transportation. This is a real site.
Yeah, that's a safe for work one. The real one has the actual fucked word in it.
Yeah.
But before
Oh,
then,
here we go. Let's. Now that is beautiful.
yes, but before then, the regional rail status was turbo fuck. That's purple, and it said that you may want to. It's like you better call an Uber.
Oh shit, that's how bad it is.
That's how bad it was. Yeah, and plus one of the trains was 69 Lamau minutes late. But yeah, folks, this is a website that a guy runs that's specifically used to check the SEPTA status. SEPTA is the Southeast Pennsylvania Transit Authority. That's the transit authority that runs around Philadelphia. And I was thinking about that, and then in tandem of that, I was thinking, okay, maybe I want to go to Philly at the end of the month because Philly from here is like 2 hours. Well, it's 2 hours from like around Javits, which means it's like 3 hours from my house on a bus. And it's actually cheaper than taking like Amtrak, because Amtrak is the biggest sham on planet Earth sometimes. Also
Also, what?
I was saying, also the late night trains coming back, they can be sometimes like 2 to 5 hours late.
Jesus Christ. You know, I will say, this whole SEPTA thing kind of reminds me of the time when we actually had that discussion of the McFlurry machine, because that was also just a similar shit as well, where I never thought that this kind of website would exist.
Because that website is McBroken.com.
Yeah, I have it right here. Hold on, let me put this up for those who wants to see it, because
What they need to do is they need to make the same one for the MTA site.
oh man, if they're how does this work? I always wanted to know. Let's take a read right here. Oh, it goes here. I reverse engineered McDonald's internal API, and I'm currently placing an order worth $18,752 every minute at every McDonald's in the US to figure out which locations have a broken ice cream machine. Shit. Damn, there's so much into this. It's incredible to me that a $5 digital open box can serve traffic for 200,000
Open
unique
box, yeah.
visitors, and yes, there's startup.
DigitalOcean, yeah, DigitalOcean is a VPS provider. That's a web provider.
This is
Yeah.
incredible shit. I love this. So yeah, if you ever wanted to know if your McFlurry machine is working and for some reason you were asking for
yeah,
one,
if you want, is the ice cream machine broken? Yeah, McBroken.
there we go. See, look at that. Check 627 minutes ago in 2049 Broadway. It looks like I know where I'm going later. Oh man, but
But yeah, these status websites that these independent creators create, like I said, is SeptaFuck. I always check that if I'm going to Philadelphia.
yeah, right. But
It's always great. Yeah, it's a great shite. It's a great, almost said great shite, great site to check out if you want to go to Philadelphia, because then you know if the buses and the rails and the trains are fucked or not.
I also love how it won an award, by the way, for best side project at the Network Philly. This is great, man. Now more timely than ever is SeptaFucked. When SEPTA's operating data says about the impact of the stuff, now Siri can tell you just how badly SEPTA is fucked today. Oh shit, Siri can now tell me that shit too. Hold on, let me go.
Yeah, it says, "Hey Siri, is SeptaFuck."
Let me see. Hey Siri, is SeptaFucked?
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that.
Ah.
Please repeat it.
All right, hold on a second. I said, "Hey Septa," or "Hey Siri, is SeptaFucked?"
I'm not sure I'm
Aw.
hearing it correctly. My apologies.
Damn, she's not listening to me. Let me try it again.
Hold on. Try it without anything. Just try it with the long press.
Hold on, let's try this one more time. Hey Siri, is SeptaFucked?
Here's what I found.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah, let's go. Let's go. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, we got it, boys. Try Cortana, KG. Oh, hold on. I got my Samsung phone over here. Does that have Cortana on it? Let me check. I don't know if it does have the feature, but it does tell me that we can use Siri if we need to. Oh, man. So there you go, ladies and gents. If you ever need to know if your train station is working or not via the regional railings and even buses, check out isceptafuck.com. And also, if you want to, go to McBroken for this.
Yeah, and then if you want to see if your ice cream machine's working, McBroken.com.
Yeah, man. Listen, man, I want a McFlurry. I have to check if I have that shit working or not. Oh, man, but yeah, that was great. Anywho, I know we forgot to do this at the start, but let's do it right now. Greetings, everybody. Welcome to another exciting edition of the PokePod World Podcast, where we gather around to talk about shenanigans and shit that have been going on within the past week, as well as doing our weekly reviews of PM 2019. As you guys already know, we are still in our break of Pocket Monsters 2019. However, we're still going to do a review this week. We'll get further into that debate when we get to the second hour. But for now, as you guys already know, the first hour is always Bullshit Hour, where we always just talk about shit that have happened within this week that's worth discussing, or just simply to have a good time. As you guys already know, we took this opportunity last week to celebrate and pay, a good time on the PokePod as a whole, as we celebrated our 100th episode last week, which is still incredible in my head to see that we managed to not only do 100 episodes of the pod for the World Series, but also just do so many in general. It kind of is crazy to think that we've been doing it for 6-something years now, almost approaching 7. And even further back, before the thing was titled the pod, we even did like those long hour debates as well. So the pod in general has always been a thing, and it's just kind of crazy to see that we've grown so much since then. At least I hope we did. And I've had a fun time with it overall. So what are we going to do this week? Well, obviously, as you guys know, you didn't need a taco KGY. Well, because we didn't get enough points to have me eat a taco. You guys should have added more points into me eating a taco, man. Should I make that shit a feature where it's like if somebody donates 1 million points, then I have to be forcefully eating a taco on stream or some shit?
Yeah, I guess I'm 1/10 of the way there.
Hold on, just drinking water. I almost choked on that shit.
Yeah, I'm 1/10 of the way there.
That means only 10 people will need to donate that shit if they've been with us here since the beginning. Nah, KG sent 10 boxes of pizza. Oh, actually, I do want to take this opportunity to give a shout out to an application that I've been using. Oh, Mexican pizza. No, but like I was saying, I wanted to give a shout out to not I was gonna say a Mexican app. No, an app. I don't know if you guys know this. Titled Slice. Have you ever used that, TSS?
Yes, I have.
Well, then I have good news to tell you because, well, to those who don't know what Slice is an application that is mainly used to order Italian food, like pizzerias, kind of stuff like that, for pasta places and pizza places. And one of the cool features that they have there, which is what enticed me to try it out, was that if you do enough orders on certain pizzerias or just all pizzerias in general and get to a certain threshold with each order, you'll get a slice point. And if you get up to 8 points in total, you will be given a coupon to buy a free pizza pie as a whole. And that is incredible. I love that, man. That is awesome. I'm really happy that they have this kind of feature. I just recently got my 8 pizza slice points, so now I can actually buy me a pizza pie whenever I want to. But I wanted to give those who might not be familiar with this app, some idea as to what it is about. Because if you guys maybe order pizza here and there and, you want to try to see if you can earn some benefits in some sort, try the Slice app. I think you guys get a good kick out of it. And, if you get enough points, you'll be able to get yourself a free pizza pie as a whole. So if you ever want to take an opportunity to, have a little festivities here and there after reaching a certain amount, definitely try out the Slice app. So just a little thing on that. Also,
what makes the app great is that, number one, all of the money that you spend is going to go directly to the business. There really isn't the service fees are low, and also a lot of times on the Slice app, certain places will actually give you a discount if you spend a certain amount of money.
Yeah, because they'll see if you're like a regular there or something.
Well, it's not just that. It's just that sometimes they just run promotions. Like there's another local pizza place. It's out in Country Club, and sometimes I'd get it's like $5 off if you spend $20. So that means I get like a full pie for like 15, like maybe $13 or something.
All right, everybody.
Still pretty good.
Hold on. Okay, well, we're talking about that. Let me do a poll thing. If we reach 1 million points, I'll eat a taco live on stream. All right, here we go. Perfect. I'm gonna do that. But for now, TSS, is there anything what other apps do you use normally for food? I think we talked about this a little while ago. Aside from Slice, I think there was the Ubers or something like that.
The thing is, though, I've been kind of like not using Uber Eats because here's the problem, right? Mm-hmm. Number one, sometimes the fees are very expensive, and number two, you'll just get outright canceled if there's no Uber drivers here. If you try to order at 11 o'clock at night, you're fucked because there's like no Uber drivers around here.
Jesus,
meanwhile,
really?
DoorDash, you can order something at fucking 12 midnight or fucking 2 o'clock in the morning, and somebody will be on the road.
Oh well.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah, because Uber outright says if it can't find drivers in your area, if it can't find Uber drivers in your area, you're fucked. You get no food.
Now I think that's also with as dumb as this might sound. What's the other app? Hold on, do I have it here? It's not Uber Eats. It's what's the other?
Seamless or
not Grubhub. What's the other app? Well, I guess
Seamless?
I deleted it. Yeah, probably no.
Seamless?
DoorDash. Yeah, DoorDash is here. Seamless. Seamless has that same thing where it's like you can order it and you're perfectly fine with ordering it. You're just not guaranteed a driver. They don't guarantee you shit on that part. So last time I ordered a sandwich from a place that's not really far from where I'm at, but I still wanted to make sure I continue doing work and not have to leave my place, at work. Mm-hmm. It took about 4 hours for that shit to arrive. Mm-hmm. So basically in closing hours, I got my sandwich. I was like, what the fuck? I, of course, complained to the app itself, and I got my refund back for that. So I guess it wasn't a total loss. Boy, my stomach was rumbling throughout that entire time.
Well,
my bosses were looking at me like, "You okay, Kevin?" I'm like, "No."
Yeah, that's...
I never got my break. Was the sandwich good? Yeah, it was pretty good. Cold.
Yeah.
Cold but good. Sandwich. Cold but good.
Well, I mean, I remember. I mean, during a lot of during like the low times. I
Mm-hmm.
think the most I've ever had to wait for food was 2 hours, but that's because it was like I remember because it was like there was a apparently there was a line outside of the Wendy's, like a drive-through line outside the Wendy's at like 11 o'clock at night, and I didn't get my stuff until like 1 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So and that wasn't too far away. It's like a mile away from my house. But yeah, but still, it's like I mean, a lot of the convenience apps, like I said about DoorDash, but Slice. I mean, Slice is still great, but unlike the other apps, it doesn't have like GPS tracking, so you'll get a rough idea of when your stuff is coming. They'll give you a certain time window, but they don't give you like real time tracking.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean yeah, but other than that, people were asking anything new on the tech front that I have already. Unfortunately, no. If I had anything new, I would let you guys know. But unfortunately, now, I mean, it's the summertime. We're not really much in the way of spending or any buying anything. So
Yeah.
unfortunately, I don't have anything right now.
Yeah, so the TSS Tech Talk will eventually come at one point, but for
Well,
now, I
yeah,
mean,
but
like
what we
it's you know
can
this,
talk about,
you
but
know,
what we can talk about is the fact that Cruisin' Blast has a fucking release date now. It's
September.
September 14th, which is the 35th anniversary of the Madison Square Garden gig where Elton completely loses his fucking voice, which is quite fun. Which is like one of the worst versions of "I'm Still Standing" in existence.
I thought you were
Um,
gonna say the 35th anniversary of Cruisin' Blast. I was like, oh, that's awesome, and then you suddenly come and throw me a curveball in my face with that one.
yeah,
But nah, seriously, though, Cruisin' Blast, I am super excited for that, man.
yeah, and if you did it, and if you pre-ordered it when Cheap Ass Gamer had the thing up,
Mhm.
you'll not only be getting it for $39.99, you would also get the $10 Best Buy gift card.
Really?
So that's yeah,
If you want to get more benefits, then you order it through there, then.
yeah. Well, they'll obviously. I don't think the thing is still up. I mean, you could try and see, but you have to. Yeah, you would have been able to get a $10 Best Buy gift card with that for $40.
Yeah.
So that's basically you're getting the game for $30.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm excited. Like I said, I have been waiting 22 years for a worthy cruising game to come out on a home platform. Cruising Exotica's port was kind of crap. And then we don't talk about the Wii one. The Wii one, in my opinion, was a waste of disc material.
There we go. Okay, guys, community challenge started. There you go. Have fun with it, ladies and gents. The KG Will Eat Tacos live on stream community challenge has started. If you go and hit the Gumi button, you'll see right up there we have 30 days left to do so. So make sure to do your challenges while you're at it. Oh, man.
Yes.
Oh, shit, we already reached 4K. Jesus Christ. Oh, man, I don't even know where things are going to go for that. 2K max. I know, right? Only 2K, guys, for the tacos. Don't worry, guys. If you keep coming on stream all the time, you'll be able to fill that shit up eventually. Look, you already got that fucking 12K. Anything new on the gacha front, KG? As you already know, I have a lot to talk about for gacha, but I just wanted to make sure that my boy TSS has managed to take the opportunity to talk about whatever else he needed to bring up.
Also, we got to talk about Iruma-kun because it's
Yes, it's second arc in the season is about to begin. Well, it's actually the second, or is it the third arc? I think it's the second main arc that's supposed to be happening soon.
yes.
Which I'm very excited for. I already love how things are being set up. I also feel bad for my girl, man. She thought she was on a date with him. Nah, she misinterpreted that message, man. How many? Oh my god, I feel so bad for her.
Yeah, and it's like because and also we get to see the fake Disneyland.
Yes.
Which is kind of funny because they call it Walter Land, and of course Walt Disney.
Yeah, I was like,
And also I liked how they made fun of all the operational stuff is happening underneath the park, which is actually true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really, and then it's like, oh, all of the power is being supplied by all the prisoners underneath. Like,
And like
It's like
Jesus Christ, and
like
also,
yeah.
if you've been watching the series, you'll be familiar with a certain character who makes an appearance in this episode too.
Oh shit!
And
Yeah.
oh my god, he was one of my favorite characters of the last season. I'm gonna just say this right now. It only goes up from here, buddy. If you love that
And,
character from the last season, you're gonna love him a lot more in this season,
yeah.
buddy.
And I learned a new word from that episode.
Which is
Datsugoku, which
uh,
means jailbreak.
yeah. There's some themes going on with that. It's kind of crazy that the whole theme park is built literally right on top of this whole prison cell. Like, I will say, Inuma-kun's story is incredibly unique for sure. It's definitely like, it takes a lot of the tropes that you might think they'd be approaching in and then just completely make it a twist at the very end where it's like, we're going to an amusement park. Oh, that's great. It's filled with people that actually use their energy via the jail cells and they send the evil energy up to, I guess, light up the carnival that you see above you. Wait, what? So, like, Inuma-kun, like, really, I do hope people give an opportunity for Inuma-kun, as it's, obviously airing right now every week. And the other thing is, there's the first season as well to go through. I will say this, Inuma-kun is the first anime series that really made me appreciate the tall-small relationship, man. Especially because most animes, they always tend to have, like, the tall dude and the small little, girl. Or, like that. This time around, the girl she's tall as hell, man, and Inuma-kun is just regular human size, but like the relationship they have is just absolutely adorable.
Also between Azu and Idama too.
Yeah, like all that, like it really is a great series. I'm just glad I finally got a chance to watch it every week, and I can't wait for when that full version of that song comes out, man.
Yeah. No satisfaction, and then was it the ending team? It's like
Yeah,
on stage, whatever. But and also today I finally finished freaking Osamatsu-san season 3. I've been waiting a long time to complete it because just had like no time, and they ended it. I mean, it was the whole like AI arc with like Omusubi, which is like the. It's kind of funny because it's a double pun because Omusubi could mean like gift, but it also means rice ball, and it's like the two AI robots, and they I'm not going to spoil anything, but this whole arc for the season, that was like crazy, and of course the parodies and the comedy are like top notch of this season as well. And on top of that, we're supposed to get 2 movies in the next 2 years, so can't wait for that. But the series ended on a good note, and they said that see you again another time. See you again sometime. That's what they said. So this isn't the end, but it's
we
just
can only hope for more, man.
yeah. I mean, we're getting the 2 movies, so I'm 2022 and 2023. So
Yeah.
we'll see when those come out, and hopefully, like I said, I've enjoyed it. That I know that the Osamatsu-san community is kind of like freaking toxic at times, which I understand. I mean, every single anime fandom is going to have their toxicity. Just that I avoid that. I just look at it from a purely comedic perspective, like a comedic enjoyment perspective, instead of like trying to freaking seeing all the crap, yaoi crap or whatever comes out of it. I don't care.
Oof.
Like I don't really care about that crap. I look at it as it's an anime series that pushes the right buttons for me and enjoyment, and also it gives me like memories and other crap like that. But yeah, it was a really fun ride for the TV series. So I can't wait to see what's gonna happen soon enough. And now I get to freaking go ahead and try to catch up with like the 12 episodes of Digimon that I'm trying to catch up with. Although I am seeing from a lot of people and some news that is not exactly positive for the series, because apparently they're going to continue it later, which it's like, Now you're just gonna milk the shit out of the series, and I'm like, no.
No. Well, if you caught up to the recent episodes,
I have not. I have
and
not. I'm
I'm
still.
also referring to the chat as well. You'll
Yeah.
know that the episodes, the way they structure them, is like, I hate what they did in the recent episode because you want to know what was my favorite thing about the original Digimon Adventure? They
Mm.
actually allowed the characters to be fleshed out by themselves. They allowed themselves to tell the story and to see their development grow. In this one, Taichi is always slapped in every single moment, man. And it doesn't make it feel like as if these characters earned it on their own, rights. It's like it always gets helped by somebody else. And no more of that is better shown off than in the recent episode of Adventure, man. It really is kind of disappointing with that part, but like I do really still want to see where this story is gonna go, though. So we'll
Yeah,
see
but
what
yeah, but
happens.
now we know that the story's not gonna end right at the end here. It's probably
No,
still gonna continue on, which means it's gonna be Cash Cow High, Cash Cow Express, which ah, I'm not a big fan of it. By the way, I've also seen on Iwane's like live stream from like yesterday, somebody was mentioning that one one of the Pokemon weeks might be delayed because of the Olympics. I'm not sure of this. It's not 100%, but it's like one person was saying like on the third, or not the third, the sixth, that the episode, that there's no episode on the sixth. But I don't know. I'm not sure. It was just a random comment in an Iwane stream, so I'm not going to say that's true until I see it for myself. Yeah. You
of course, as you
and
guys know, there we go. As you know, gotcha. Something that somebody was talking about before. I do want to take an opportunity to
sure.
talk a little bit about some of the gotcha stuff, and then I will go into some anime I've been watching from this season as well, because I thought it'd be kind of fun to talk about some of the certain anime shows I've been watching this
Yeah.
season that aired not too long ago, because we're now in summer of anime 2020. I thought it'd be kind of fun
Mhm.
to share some of my personal favorite animes of this season. But before we get into that, though, let's take a second to talk a little bit about the gotcha scene. So, as you guys already know, Dragalia Lost has been recently celebrating its 1,000 days of being on, live and active. And during this time, for 14 days, they're giving fans free tenfolds, with one of those days being a free 100 fold, meaning you can summon up to 100 times for free on that particular day. And currently, my favorite girl in this game, as you guys already know, her name is Mim. She is the dragon waifu of the season. I even have the image right here. She is having her summer banner active at this current
Mhm.
moment with free tenfold summons to coincide with her release. So, if you really want to get an opportunity to get her, this would be the perfect opportunity to do so. And I'm very happy that we're getting to see her get a summer alt, because that was one of the characters that I really wanted to see how they design her, given her dragon design form and whatnot. So yeah, she looks absolutely phenomenal. She was one of the reasons I got into Dragalia Lost, and I stuck the whole way through till 3 years. And yeah, I can't wait to see how this summer event is going to continue out, because it's going to last, I assume, all the way till probably the end of July or even into August, because there's still another summer banner that's going to be coming soon after her, which is going to be featuring some of the Hinomoto characters, such as Iyasu and Mitsuhide, I believe was her name, which is like a mouse girl,
Mhm.
and another dragon as well. So a lot of things are going on for that. Now, for fans out there who might be familiar with Genshin Impact, though, I have some interesting news to talk about, because in case you guys weren't aware, a couple of days ago, we had a live stream event that talks about some of the events that are going to be happening within 2.0, I believe, of Genshin Impact, which shows off a lot of content and what we're going to be expecting to see. Obviously, they show off some of the characters. Bao, I believe, was her name. They also show off Ayaka and Yomiya, which you see right here in this image. These two, personally, Ayaka best girl, but Yomiya is a very close second. We also get to see a character that looks like Shulk for me.
I
It's me.
I
It's me. I
I
look
I
like
bet I
Shulk.
Hey,
I bet you
Shulk.
differ, my boy.
And I hear an
hear
Evie though.
Yes, girl.
Evie,
Yeah, hello.
well, of course you will come in literally at the time we're talking about Genshin, my man.
Evie and I think showed up at the exact same time.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we
Tyrone,
did.
I'm not sure with you sometimes because, well, first of all, I know you want to try to get back into Genshin. And we were actually talking about this yesterday as well, Tyrone,
We were.
because I was telling you that the version 2.0 update for Genshin Impact is soon approaching. And we just a couple of days ago got a direct of sort that ties into information about what we're going to be expecting to see in Genshin Impact's newest 2.0 version. So obviously a lot of new characters are revealed, like I mentioned over here. Yoimiya, Ayaka, a character that looks like Shulk, but his name is Toma. Another female character, Kokomi, also revealed for Inazuma. Goro, Inazuma. Yai Miko, which is going to be making an appearance in Inazuma, though I don't think she's playable in this one yet. And there's also going to be an event overview that's going to be coming soon, which is going to be having multiple events, and you can even get a free beta if you have yet to get her by participating in one of the events that are going to be happening later down the road. So if you have yet to get beta, now it's going to be the perfect opportunity to do so in version 2.0. Alongside that, though, of course, with a brand new location, there's going to be brand new elements, brand new statues, brand new locations to visit, and so much more. Genshin Impact is really going to be thriving a lot in this version 2.0 update. When it does drop, for a fact, I'm going to be live streaming it. I recently just got
I think I'm gonna stream it too.
Yeah, well, first of all, you got to get caught up to the story, buddy, if you have yet to do so, because you have to complete Arc 1 and Arc 2, or Book 1 and Book 2, in order for you to get to this new land, is what I like to believe. I don't think you'll be able to easily access it, Tyrone, until you complete those two storylines, because those two storylines tie in to what's going to play down in this one, at least from what I'm aware of. If they actually give you access to get to it, then that's actually pretty cool.
Well, that game has been very much like if you can wander into it, I think.
Yeah, but the
you
reason why I
wanna-
say that is because this is in a different land. It's not like tied in to the land that you are roaming at this moment. It's on a completely different location overall across the ocean.
Yep.
You have to take a boat to get there.
When's the date for that? When's that?
Oh, when's the release date for this?
Yeah.
I believe it is next Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
going to be
yeah.
coming up really soon, man. That's what I'm saying. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Damn.
Also, in case people don't know, there are also 3 codes available right now that you can use that will give you 300 Primo Gems as well
Let's get
as
it.
other stuff as well. They will
What's the
expire
codes?
soon, so if you have yet to redeem them, I recommend you do so ASAP. Very much recommend.
Bust out the what are the codes?
I'll put them in
What-
backstage. I don't know if they're still
Yeah,
working or
put 'em
not, but go and
backstage.
check out on that. So yeah, it'll be a while until we get. If it is coming out next Tuesday, though, I'm very much excited to play that new world. Like I mentioned, I already got to the adventure rank 50, so my characters have reached level 90 now, which is the max that you can actually get yourself into at this current moment. And I think I'm good to go for with this event. Now, with that being
Nice.
said, though, there are a lot of characters to go for in this one. I'm gonna just say this right now. My heart goes to Ayaka, man. I saw her since the debut. I've been waiting for her for so long. She got me, man. I'm rooting to hoping to get Ayaka, but Yoimiya is right there as well, and bro, she's just as beautiful too. God damn it. God.
I'm gonna go for Yoimiya.
Uh,
Ayaka. The thing is, I'm right now I'm gonna deal with the 50-50 because I just recently got Kazuha on the current version.
yeah.
So I'm gonna have to test my 50-50 on Ayaka's banner, which at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter to me if I do end up losing the 50-50 because who doesn't want an Ayaka? But if I don't get Ayaka, then I'm actually guaranteed Yoimiya when her banner comes around.
That is
So-
true. You are right there.
And
Go on.
And another thing too, like like for some of these characters, you may not be you may not have a huge opinion on them, but it's for those of you guys who do play or at least have the Japanese audio on. When you look at the Japanese cast for these upcoming Inazuma characters, man, you are gonna be in for a treat. But by any chance, do you know some of these voice actors that are gonna be
I
voicing these
have
characters,
not
KG?
seen the VAs. I have not read into any of them. All I just know is that these characters are coming. So I can look it up right now and see what some of the VAs are for these characters at this moment. So let me take a look real quick. So for Ayaka, I see here
Well,
Her VA was announced back in 2019, wasn't it?
yeah, it was.
Okay.
So yeah, we've been you.
Okay, here we go. Ayaka is going to be voiced by, I believe, Hayami Saori, if I'm correct, who is at least that's what I'm seeing here. I believe that is the case. It's showing here that the Japanese VA is Hayami Saori, which I'll get into further detail on that soon if this is indeed the case. Now, the other one, Yomiya, is going to be voiced by Ueda Kana, and Sayu, which is the little Tanuki character, is going to be voiced by Suzuki Aya. Now, in case you might not be familiar with some of these VAs, I could tell you who they are, judging from what I'm seeing here. For Ayaka's VA, Hayami Saori, I see that she has done many voices, such as the characters like Amity from the recently talked about anime of Iruma-kun, the female chick, amongst other ones. I believe she also did, what was the chick's name from One Punch Man? I forgot her name. It's like the
psychic. Are you talking about the psychic chick?
Yeah, the psychic chick, but not the little small one, like
the older sister. I know you're talking.
Oh, the Blizzard, I believe, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, she also did the voice for that. Amongst that other character that I see from what was the show again? Demon Slayer here as well.
And the big one here, of course, our girl Yukinon.
Yep, she's also shown off right here as well, right there in the side. So, in case if you don't know who that is, that's from the recently finished Snafu story we watched a while ago.
Fubuki is her sister, by the way.
There we go. Thank you for that. All right, so moving on to Yomiya, though, we got Ueda Kana, who I'm seeing a couple of characters here that I might be familiar with, and kind of like some that I am not. I see characters here, especially from Fate's Stay Night. In this one, I forgot her name already. Her
name is Ren.
Ren. Okay, and then of course I see some Mega Man Star Force love here. I see some. Let's see what else we got going on. Actually, I think that's really it for it. I don't really see much outside of these from the VAs I'm seeing here. Just only from Fate's Stay Night. So if you know her character there, you'll know that's it. At least on my end. And then for Sayu, it's Suzuki Aya. Now, in this one, though, I see one character in particular that I'm very, very familiar with. And, of course, that has to go to Kill la Kill's VA, man. This is incredible. I'm loving...
Krill.
Krill, yeah.
Yeah, so...
Something surprising, though, on the English side of things, Sayu's voice actor is actually voiced by a streamer known as Lily Pichu, for those of you guys who may be familiar with that name.
Yes, which very well known for doing a lot of voices on social media.
Nice.
Yeah, so good for her.
Yeah, man, nice. Very happy to see that she got some love for that. That's awesome, man. So yeah, very, very glad to see that things are going very well with this, and I'm excited to see how things are going to play out for Genshin Impact in the 2.0 update, man. It's going to be a lot of fun for this, and hopefully it'll be a fun ride. And also, like I mentioned before, obviously we're going to be entering new worlds. That means you're also going to be given an opportunity to get a free character as well. So make sure to take that opportunity as the time approaches. And if you have yet to do so, make sure to complete the storylines to be caught up to speed as you're going to be approaching this new territory. That way you'll be more fond of the things that are going to be coming. So, they're also the other one. Hey, for Garo. Oh my god, I see Goro's right there. I see oh my god, Yai's did the Misty's voice in Japanese. Oh yeah, look at that. Kasumi's voice, really? Yeah. Oh my god, Prince Yu. Oh my god, you did Prince Yugen's voice. Oh no, you can't do that to me, girl. Oh my god. And then of course I see for Kujo Sara as being the Seto Asami, who's of course Tyrone. You very familiar with the female hero from Shield Hero.
Yes.
Who wouldn't be? Ah man, so
indeed.
Raiden Shogun. Now that's another character I'm also excited for. Japanese VA for Sawashiro Miyuki, and I see some familiar characters in this one as well. One from Fairy Tail to be exact, though. But so far, though, very, very excited. Hey, I see some love there for Danganronpa on the side, and even Persona there at the right too. Persona 3, I believe that's the one.
Elizabeth.
Yeah, Elizabeth. So yeah, that's the VA for that. And then I believe what was her name from. Grand Blue Fantasy.
Also, why the fuck did they use what the fuck is it? Anime Kasumi instead of the freaking Masters Kasumi, because that's Masters Kasumi, not original.
It's not the original one. Okay.
Nope. No, sir.
Well, that's one thing to fix then. But I do see Prince Eugen though, so I'll take that as a plus right
Yeah.
there. All right. Well, first of all, once again, I just want to say hello to Tyrone and hello to Evie. Glad to see you guys are here. And
Evie,
Yes,
it's been
hello,
like
hello.
so long since I think you and I have been in the same call.
Who are you again?
I don't know.
who are you people?
Kid. No.
I don't know myself.
Okay, so I do have some good news. I did want to share with the community for a bit. We'll obviously talk a little bit more about it later. But word is, we actually got DJ's seal of approval about reprising his role as Yuri in Doki Doki. He gave us a thumbs up, and he will be coming back in Doki Doki rerun when we get to do that in the distant future. We'll keep you guys up to date, but everybody gave us the thumbs up, so that means everybody is coming back one more time to do the Doki Doki run, plus new content. For a fact, we're going to be doing all of that. So we'll keep you guys up to speed when we're going to be returning into Doki Doki hype. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to see us all play our characters again. One more time, man. It's going to make me so sad to see it come to closure, but I'm happy that we are getting good, proper closure this time around. So, Evie,
Let's go.
Tyrone, let's wrap things story up with Doki Doki's story. Now, there is new content in that, and I want to clarify, I have not seen any of the new content.
I haven't seen any of it either.
Nobody else here has as well, like Tyrone just mentioned.
Have not.
So, we will be going into this completely blind in terms of the new content as well as whatever kind of weird shenanigans they intend to fill in this remake, or not remake, but the plus version of Doki Doki.
Yeah, the Doki Doki literature.
The new content is the backstories, the side stories.
I can't wait. I'm so hyped. Oh my god.
So yeah, we're gonna be getting back into the world of Doki Doki in just a couple of weeks. We'll keep you guys up to date when we can actually plan a schedule. But no, that's gonna be our big summer project probably for this round, which I'm very excited for, to get everybody back for that one. All right, so now let's take a second to talk a little bit about something that we haven't really done much since a while now, but it's obviously because the seasons have been kind of slow. But now we are in summer season, ladies and gents. We are in summer anime of 2021. And it is kind of disappointing that you see all these great animes, or maybe not, airing during the season. And it's disappointing that all of them are going to be second to last place, because first place in my heart is going to Kobayashi-san Chino Maid Dragon Season 2.
Oh, yeah.
Which is already airing. We recently got the first episode release. And KyoAni is back and in full force in this season, man. After 2 years of being away due to the recent events that had passed in KyoAni, if you know about the history, you'll know what I'm talking about. KyoAni has finally returned to their seasonal format, and they're kicking things off with none other than Kobayashi-san Chino Maid Dragon S, which is a continuation of the first season of Maid Dragon. Continuing on the adventures with our girl Toru, Kana, Kobayashi, and all of her members as they encounter a brand new dragon, and of course learn some more side stories of these characters and even a little bit more in the past. Fana, who did the original opening for the first season, also comes back, and this new opening, Love Supreme, I love it so much. I just want to say that right now. It is a beautiful sequel song to the series, man. Yeah, I love that. It's so good, man. Now, I just want to mention right now, there is a guy that's singing in that song. In case you might not be familiar right now, Fana is done by 4 people. Junichi Sato, Yuxi Waga, Towana, which is the vocal, and then the other one is, I love how it's named here, Leggy Salad, but his real name is Kevin Mitsunaga, and he is the male vocal part in the recently released Love Supreme song. So I just want to say right now, Kevin has been kicking ass recently in Fana's group because he's starting to contribute more in the vocal parts. And he did a phenomenal job, I want to say, in Fana's new song there. I love the song so much, man. So Fana, the entire band, they did an amazing job with that. And in case you guys want some more Dragon Maid love, I got some good news for you. The VAs of the Dragon Girls actually collaborated and did 2 songs recently. They did the first opening of Dragon Maid, but this time with the character VAs, and they did the ending song for the recent season as well. So yeah, that's incredible. I'm really happy to see KyoAni come back, man. It is great to see. It's heartwarming. KyoAni is my favorite animation studio in Japan. I love their works. Like, even seeing one of their biggest works from KyoAni, one that really like touched my strings and hit me in all the right places. Koe no Katachi, aka A Silent Voice, which became
Yeah,
one of my
definitely
absolute
so
favorite
good.
films of all time, and it was done by them. And also for others that might be familiar with like Clannad or say K-On, Violet Evergarden, like these guys are some of the kings and queens of animation. Nichijou, my favorite comedy anime series of all time. KyoAni did that shit, man. Lucky Star, Uh, Suzumiya Haruhi. I mean, everybody knows who that is, and the iconic song as well for that one. So I can't say much more than that, man. I'm very happy to see, like I mentioned before, KyoAni coming back
They have a
strong.
lesser touch.
Yeah, they have
They have a
not.
lesser touch one there.
Now, I also want to mention another thing. They also have been releasing these weekly shorts. You might know them as mini dragons. And mini dragons is basically like a 1 to 2 minute short of the Dragon Maid characters, just doing shenanigans in those 2 minutes. What you might not what you might not know is that these shorts are actually designed in a unique way because they're trying to teach new animators in KyoAni, and they're using these shorts as a way to teach animators that are coming into KyoAni to learn how to do animation. So these animations that you're seeing in these little mini dragon shorts, they're made by newly fresh animators that just joined KyoAni. So it's really cool to see just how they're incorporating and how they're teaching new animators to become part of an overall big company like this. So
Right.
if you love the mini dragons, know for a fact that they're being done by newly animators that have just joined the scene in KyoAni. So my love and respect goes out there to all those in KyoAni. Phenomenal job. I'm very happy for you guys. And also, this is a very sad note, but it's also kind of wholesome in a way. If you watch the second opening of Maid Dragon, at the very ending of that sequence in the opening, there is a segment where you see Toru and you see Kobayashi like descending slowly in the sunset. But you'll also notice there's a text in the middle, and that's supposed to have the director's name as the one responsible for working on that season. In that, though, was the original director of the first season of Kobayashi-san in there, who unfortunately passed away due to the incident that occurred 2 years ago. So they paid respect to him by also keeping his name there intact as
That's nice.
the director for season 2, because he was also meant to work on season 2. So as a nice like little homage there, they actually put that there. So it is something really wholesome from KyoAni to do, and like I mentioned, it just makes me happy to see that they came back strong, 100%. So once again, love and respect to KyoAni. But now let's take a second to also talk about some other animes from this season. I want to talk about one in particular. I even not tweeted about it, but I messaged you guys in Facebook Messenger about some of the stuff I watched. Let's talk about The Detective Is Already Dead, episode 1 and episode 2.
Yes.
Oh, you watched it?
Oh, I did, of
Okay.
course.
Here's my best way to summarize this, and I don't mean to sound disrespectful, but honestly, this is how I feel this way. The show, The Detective Is Already Dead, it is so unique, but holy shit is it so obvious with what they're trying to do with this story, man. Like, I watched
In what
episode
way?
1. I saw what they were going for. First of all, Siesta best girl. I just want to say that 100%. I don't care about these other characters. I know where we're going to learn more about them later, but Siesta stole my heart in the first episode. But episode 2, literally a few minutes jumping into that second episode, from the moment you hear that heartbeat, I already knew the direction that this story was taking.
Oh, yep.
And then when we got to the end of the episode, that revelation came to be, and I was like, okay, so she really is dead. So, first of all, that shit hurts. And secondly, I'm kind of getting the idea as what's going to happen. So you're telling me that all these body parts are going to be this boy's harem, basically, in some way, shape, or form. So we'll get further into that when we get into the series. But I do want to say, though, I think one of my favorite things from this season has been all these hour-long premieres. Because
Oh yes.
because The Detective is Already Dead got an hour-long premiere. Bokutachi no Remake got an hour-long premiere as well. So a lot of these animes have been getting a lot of these hour-long premieres, which does an amazing job in capturing your attention in this show by bringing as much of content as they possibly can without needing to rush it all, 48 minutes is a good amount to get what you need to tell in your story for a first episode. And they did that phenomenally, both in The Detective is Already Dead, as well as in Bokutachi no Remake, which I'll also talk about in just a bit. But The Detective is Already Dead, I love the story. The premise is about this one main character, Kimihiko, who, on a short, we'll call him Kimi. He is a character who tends to get a lot of crisis revolved around him. Like, every time he is going anywhere, he always gets caught up in all this shit, even though he doesn't want to be involved in it. And suddenly he finds himself in a plane, and this plane is suddenly hijacked. And now suddenly out of nowhere, for some particular reason, there is this detective that is also sitting alongside him, the one I was talking about before, named Siesta. And she is viewing her. Yeah, she declares herself as a detective and drags Kimi along into the case as her assistant. When you watch the first episode, you'll begin to learn about her character, about her story, who she really is, maybe not as well, and also just see how ridiculous she can be overall. But most importantly, you get to see her cute side. And that was what really caught my attention in that first episode. I grew attached to this character from the first episode. She left a very incredible first impression on me, especially on the animation side of things. That fight sequence that we had in the plane, especially when she got that gun and smacked that fucking thing to the side and shot the dude in the face. Well, in the side anyway. That animation sequence was clean as hell. Like, if you look at the character as is, she looks like a generic female character, but it's the animation that makes her pop out and makes her look more incredible than what she really is overall. And it does an incredible job in that. So, like I said, Siesta best girl on that part. But I'm not going to spoil anything on this episode 2, though.
I only wish that we could have had more moments between Siesta and Kimihiko, because I really like their dynamic, their relationships, the bonding moments that they have with one another. I just only wish I could have seen how they both come into fruition.
Yeah, I really wish we didn't cut out that part. I understand the story's trying to go in that approach, but you cannot deny there's so much potential in there that it just feels so disappointing to just see get brushed to the side, because there's another story that we have to go through. But I hope that these episodes continue to talk a little bit further into that, because apparently 3 years had passed during their time that they knew each other. And it wasn't until the year prior, when we're in the current timeline, that she had passed, So that means there were some years that we, as the audience, did not get to see. So maybe if they do want to, they can technically go back in time and show us some of the events that they've done as a duo together before her eventual death. So I'm not going to spoil a lot of it, because I do believe you guys need to see it for yourself. And just give it a shot. I honestly think it's a really great anime. First 2 episodes are out. Technically, it's one episode is an hour long, and the second episode is a typical episode length. So please give that a shot if you have yet to do it. Great VA cast as well. I mean, Miyashita Saki, Nagai Arata. Let me see who else is in there from this season so far. Taketatsu Ayana as well. Some familiar VAs for there. In case you might not know, she's the VA of Nino, or Nakano Nino, in the quintuplets. So there's that for you. In case you guys did not know that. Miyashita Saki, though, on the other hand, for her VAs, she doesn't really have that many, but I do recall her voice from How to Kana Receive as Kanata Higa in that one.
Attaboy.
So the only reason why I knew that was because of that. So she's still relatively new, but she did an amazing good first impression on me with the with her voice as Siesta, man.
She did.
Yeah, so.
Mhm.
Now, for the other character, Nagai Arata, he seems to be new to the case because he only has two roles, which is, of course, Kimihiko, and from Nanbaka to as Koriki Dyson. That's literally the voices he's done so far. So he is actually fresh blood to the scene. And this is going to be, I believe, his first big performance for VA wise. So that's going to be an interesting thing to note. So best of luck to Arata for that. I hope he does well.
I like it though. Give some more spotlight to some of these rising voice actors that could use a little bit of more big roles into their resume. So I like it.
Yeah.
Good first impression overall.
They did a good job in selecting the VA though for this character. I think he was a perfect choice for it, voice wise anyway. So let's talk about the other one that I also want to talk about real quick.
Me too,
no
man.
Remake is another one I want to talk about. Another series that also has a 1 hour length episode to debut with. So, what exactly is Bokotachi no Remake? Well, in English, it is titled Remake Our Life. So, in the synopsis, it states that the main character, Hashiba Kiyoya, is a 28-year-old game developer. When his company goes bankrupt and him losing his job, he returns to his hometown. Looking at the success of creators of his age, he finds himself regretting his life decisions as he lay distressed on his bed. As Kiyoya wakes up, he discovers that he has traveled 10 years back to the time before he had entered college. Will he be able to finally make things right? This is a story about a failed person who was given a second opportunity to follow his dreams. And that's pretty much all we got so far. I'ma just say this right now. Shino Aki, best girl in this series so far, man. Oh my fucking god, I love her so much. Blue girl.
Like, so bubbly. A cinnamon roll.
She is a cinnamon. Her voice is so cute. First of all, I knew that voice the moment I heard it. And I was like, is this really the one? And then I check. Yes, it is. It is none other than Koga Aoi, who has done many voices that people might be familiar with. Of course, if you guys know Kaguya-sama, she does the voice of, well, Kaguya-sama. She also did other voices, such as in Isekai Mao, which is the Demon Lord anime, we just had recently in the second season not too long ago, who did the voice for Rose in that one. And other ones in particular. But Kaguya-sama was the one that I knew immediately when I heard her voice. I was like, oh my god. She's so adorable, man. So yeah, I'm very happy to see that she was
I just gotta say this. That moment when Shino was trying to comfort Hashiba when they were walking back home, that pretty much sealed the deal for me as best girl for me.
Oh my god, the conversation they had during that segment was so adorable. And then the revelation that they had at the end. And you see our boy on the floor, completely awestruck at the fact that he realized, oh my god, I know who I'm with. I don't want to give too much of spoilers on this, just like with any other show, because the whole premise is for you to go and watch it yourself, you know, to give an opportunity to see what this show is about. But there is a lot of cool things in this anime. One of my favorite things is the theming of this show. And what does it have to do? It has to do with filming. So they talk about a lot of the writing. They talk a lot about the filming, the directing, the casting. They have a lot of these film-esque themes going on for there. They even talk about like the 10 things you need to know when going into this stuff as well. So there's so much of that you know is really cool to just kind of learn about as you're watching the show. It's not only, as dumb as this might sound, it's not only interesting as a premise, but also in a way, you know, something kind of cool to learn about. You know, it's educational in a way.
Oh yeah, like something that I really like about this anime. You brought up the filming aspect of things, KG, but as a slice of life anime, it kind of hits you hard with, you know, some of the real life implications that they have. Like you know, like the film, like some industries are just not that easy to make it in or have a successful life with that kind of experience or education. Like I think this anime did a pretty good job representing some of the hardships that you could encounter in life, even with a good education, even with a good resume. It just comes to show that life is just not that easy.
Yeah, and no better was it shown off than in the scene when the teacher comes and introduces the class as a whole. When she talks
Oh yeah.
about everything about like she one of the big things she talked about in that scene was that she said, "Okay, so we had 155 students all present there who actually graduated from our school. Out of those 155, how many do you guys believe had actually succeeded in finding what they're going for? Like, just try to make a guess to those who have not seen the anime. Make a guess out of 155, how many do you think actually managed to find their goal and their dream job?
Oh yeah. You're actually pretty warm there,
Percent.
Kuro.
How many, Tyrone?
2%.
2%. And what number would that be if you were to say?
Okay, so what? Name the numbers again.
155 graduated. How many found their dream job after graduation?
Let's see, 155 graduated. So that would be 155 times 0.20, 31.
You think 31 people had successfully found their job?
That's 20%.
That's
Out of
20%.
100. Oh, 20. Sorry. I miscalculated. 0.2.
You're supposed to multiply it by 0.02.
Yeah, 0.02. Sorry. Yeah, I was a number off. My bad.
Yeah.
155, 0.02. That would be 3.1.
So in other words,
Three
let's say 3 to just round it up. Okay. You're kind of close there alongside with Kuro. Joker, I believe, is the closest, but not correct. The correct answer out of 155 was 8.
8. Okay, yeah, that makes
Only
about
8 people managed to find their goal in their dream job. That is incredibly disheartening to learn about, but that's also the motivation for why they're
That's
doing the
interesting.
things.
That would be 19.375, so about 19, almost 20%. So 19%.
It's crazy.
So and remember, I came up with that percentage when I popped it in my head. So yeah.
But it is, it is ridiculous that they tell you about this up front, but it's also as a way to kind of tell you about, like, as Evie mentioned before, the hardships that it is to have when it comes into learning about, or even achieving your goals in general. It's not going to be given to you right away. You have to work hard for it, and you just have to be lucky to get what you want.
Oh shit! Yeah, 0.51616 5%.
Yeah, 5% of people got it.
5%. It's 5%.
All right, but yeah. So, and also as we're talking about this, Evie, the second episode also kind of does a good job in showing the hardships of filmmaking, because they have the whole episode is about trying to make a 3-minute film, and they managed to create a script that looks like it's going to be okay, but the big issue is it goes over the 3-minute mark, so they have to find a way to rewrite it. But now the writer, or aka the person who wants to create this film, is not wanting this. He doesn't accept it because his vision is this script. He created the script before this thing was even brought up. He had a vision in mind, but now he's being told that it can't work because of the time constraints / the time limit they have. But go on, Evie.
Yeah, and speaking of time constraints and limits, that's actually the theme behind their project, time. What can they do about, how can they represent time in a 3-minute film?
Yeah.
That's how. Zero water though.
Wait, who will be able to watch the film if everyone's frozen? Man, but yeah, so Boku Tachi no Remake really has done a good job in capturing my attention. I love the cast of characters. I think they're all fun and lovable. I think they all have conflicting opinions, but I think they all are just lovable quadruple characters.
Oh yeah,
man.
Great cast of voice actors too.
Yeah, as I talked about before with Koga
Like you
Aoi.
mentioned before.
Or let's take a look at some of the other ones here. I see Toyama now as, let's see, some of the VA works that I see here that I might be familiar with. Let's take a look as here. I see Beatless, so she's done the VA for Lassia in Beatless. So there's that. I'm very familiar with Beatless, so that's the only one I could see out. Gakusen Toshi Asterek, as well as Claudia Anfield, I believe that's how you pronounce her name. Amongst other ones. Oh, she also did Elf and Goblin Slayer. Hello. I'm very happy with that one there. Okay, she did Elf Girl. All right, you got my support 100%. So there you go.
And of course, our baby girl Yui from Snafu.
Yeah, nice. Now that I know. Hashtag Team Yui. Oh boy, but yeah, so great casting, great set of characters. Very much excited to see where things are gonna go moving forward, man. And looking forward to episode 3 when it drops. I believe on the 17th. I believe they come out on Saturdays. So
I believe so, yes.
yeah,
But yeah, so far I think Poke That You Know remake has been my favorite original anime of this season so far.
nice. I also want to give a couple of mentions real quick to 2 other anime shows that I've also been watching. One in particular that surprised me. I didn't think I was going to enjoy this one as much because it is a 3D motion anime. So it's not actually done via 2D traditional style, but rather 3D, models and whatnot. That is titled The Duke of Death and His Maid. If you guys have not had the opportunity to watch it, I do recommend giving the first episode a shot at least. I know some people might be thrown off by the animation style because if you're not familiar with 3D animation, like say for Beastars as an example, this might kind of throw you off if you're just accustomed to only 2D. But I will, I will say, the Duke of Death and His Maid, I thought I wouldn't enjoy it as much. But those 2 episodes really did an amazing job, man. I'm really, really intrigued by the story theme as well as the characters of this story. So in case you want to know what it is about, the synopsis states that cursed by a witch as a child, a young duke gained the unwanted power to kill every living thing that he touches. Forced to move away from his family and into a large mansion deep in the woods, the Duke is treated as if he does not exist and is continually shunned by his peers. However, he is not entirely alone. Rob and Alice, his butler and maid, are always by his side. Alice loves to tease him, and as their relationship grows, the Duke makes it his goal to break free from his deadly curse. Of course, he is going to need some help, and who better to do this than the various inhabitants of the supernatural? I'm going to tell you right now, one of my favorite things about the first episode is learning the tragedy that this boy has to suffer through, because anything he touches, as he states, dies. You know that joke in the Fairly Odd Parents, like everything I touch dies and all that jazz? They actually made that like a legitimate anime, but they actually made it tragedy-wise, because there is a scene where our boy, he's in a swing, right? He's just Bochan, I believe is his name. He's just on his swing, just contemplating about some things that have happened, and he accidentally touches the tree that the swing is attached to, and you see that tree pretty much disintegrate. It just dies and withers on the spot, and it unfortunately causes the swing branch that is attached to it, to collapse on top of him. And it breaks, of course, but like it just shows you just how deadly it is. He can't touch anything, and that also sadly applies to humans as well. So anything or anyone he touches, they will indeed die. And it does create a theme of like how he's growing a bond with one of the female characters in the show, Alice.
Like Shigaraki from I think you already mentioned it.
Yeah,
Shigaraki
from My Hero.
My Hero Academia, yeah.
Yeah, so it is sad to see about it, but like there in the first episode, I believe it's the first episode, he begins to kind of like sadden himself because he's like saying like everything I touch die. I can't like he even admits that
Dinkelberg, give my friend a nice celebratory hand tie.
He even like straight up tells the girl Alice like he likes her. He wants to be next to her. He wants to hold her hand and feel the warmth of her hand. Like just the simple things. He wants to do that. But as he plucks out a flower from the bush, that flower withers. And he tries to give it to her, or not even give it to her, but he's like, listen, I can't even give you a pretty flower. And Alice grabs that flower. And she mentions that you don't realize this, but a withered flower means that our time together is meant to be eternal. Like our time together is meant to be, something we can be attached to. Like like she throws a very deep message. It's so emotional, man. When you get to that point, your heartstrings begin to just hit in all the places because it's like you want to root for the boy to come out of this curse that he didn't even get himself, like he wasn't responsible for it. He just got it from something. You don't know about it, but you'll learn it as the story progresses on. And it's kind of sad to see like what he has to go through, but at the same time you really are rooting for him to succeed in, beating this curse and being able to actually give the flowers to Alice at the end. So there are a lot of close call moments in this show as well, because like I told you, when everybody if he touches anybody, they will die. So Alice loves to tease, and she gets upfront and personal a lot of the times in those 2 episodes in front of Bochan. Like literally right about like maybe not even an inch apart from each other. That's how close they get. And the dancing scene they have in the 2nd episode, they have their hands inches away from each other as they're doing a ballet dance. And I have no idea how they didn't touch their hands throughout that entire dance. But it is just so beautiful to watch, man. You really feel for this guy. And you really root for him throughout this series. Like, you hope that he can succeed. So, yeah. Overall, incredible story so far. Like I mentioned before, I was really thrown off by the fact that I thought he would be a character I wouldn't enjoy quite so much, or the series I wouldn't enjoy quite so much because of the 3D style, but it worked in its favor. So overall, gets a thumbs up in my book on that part.
All right, nice.
So yeah, give it a shot if you haven't had a chance yet. It's nothing groundbreaking per se, but it is a nice watch nonetheless. And if you enjoy something like a slice of life with a little bit of some horror themes and supernatural stuff, then give this series a shot. I think you'll enjoy it. Now, the last anime I want to talk about before we get into the second hour stuff is Seirei Gensoki. I don't know if you got a chance to watch that. In English, it's called Spirit Chronicles. So I got a chance to watch the first episode so far. I haven't had the chance to watch the second episode. I believe it just recently dropped not too long ago. So I got to give that episode a watch after we're done with the stream. I want to say real quick, if you like isekai animes, I think this might be an intriguing one per se. I don't know. It's still too early to tell, but a lot of people seem to really be excited for this one. Apparently, this is the big one that everyone's talking about, that they're looking forward to this season. The series is basically focused on a young man, of course, dying and then reincarnating in another world. But the biggest thing that I know I'm not supposed to laugh at it, but I did. You guys know Truck-kun, right? Everybody knows who Truck-kun is. If you don't know who Truck-kun is, you haven't seen enough isekai to know what the hell Truck-kun is. But if you know who Truck-kun is, he's not in this anime, first of all. Bus-kun and Train-kun do a collaboration in this episode. I'm going to just say that. And that's the duo that ends up causing these characters to get isekai'd into this new world. I shouldn't have laughed at that, but the shit was so ridiculous that it just threw me the fuck off when I saw the first minute of the first episode, because it's like, you're in a bus, you see the main protagonist, you see the main female protagonist, you see a little small cute girl as well. They're on a bus together, right? Everything looks quite wholesome, and it looks like something's about to happen. And then suddenly out of nowhere, the bus for some reason cannot seem to stop and just keeps on going and going till it eventually passes by the stop part of the train tracks and just keeps going forward, causing the bus to collide with the ongoing train and just swerving it all the way to the other side of the street, causing the people in that bus, as well as probably those in the train, to also get killed. Thus leading us into this new world where now these characters are in this fantasy-esque world. I'm not going to get too far into it because, as I mentioned, I only got into the first episode. I feel like there's a lot of incomplete storylines that I know very little about, and maybe I'll learn more in the second episode. But now the male protagonist wakes up as Rio, and Rio begins to have to learn about this brand new world and this brand new power that he seems to have that nobody else might have as well. So in order for him to live a better life, he has to learn about his new abilities, as well as learn a little bit more about the world that he is inhabiting in. So there's some cool isekai elements to it. There's a cool storyline going into it. As I stated, only one episode I've watched so far. I don't know anybody else out there who might want to give it a shot. But yeah, it was an interesting first watch. Nothing really groundbreaking so far because you can only get so much from one episode. And unfortunately, this was one of the series that didn't have a 1 hour premiere. So I didn't get an opportunity to be as fleshed out with that one compared to like Boku no Remake or say the other one that I talked about as well. What was it? The Detective is Already Dead. So those are some of the ones I've been watching. Like I said, I like talking about these anime, but I never like breaking it down too much because compared to something like what we always do every week, like with Pokemon is a very typical storyline. It's from going from point A to point B, and that's really how the premise goes. So there's not really much to kind of like spoil per se. Whereas with these original shows or shows that are created by like mangas / light novels that are already out there, you want to make sure you don't accidentally reveal too much content for new audiences to get themselves into. So that's why I only say right now, these episodes are still relatively new. They just started this season, so don't expect too much per se. But these are just some of the ones I've been enjoying from this season. So to just recap real quick, Dragon Maid S, The Detective is Already Dead. I'm not really going to get into Slime Season 2 Part 2 because everybody knows Slime already at this point. Boku no Remake, Seirei Gensoki, and Shinigami Bochan to Kodo Maid, or the Duke of Death and his maid. So yeah.
Just a little disclaimer. Don't get into girlfriend. Never in my whole life have I ever been frustrated with a rom-com.
I hate it. That's why I didn't talk about it, man. I hate it. Who the hell has a premise for a three-way, man? What the fuck were they thinking with this shit? Why did they think a three-way would be a unique premise to a show?
And look, you and I know about what's his name, Kazuya from Rent a Girlfriend. You know how frustrating he was in like the first couple of episodes. Nope, this fucking dude just took the cake within the first 10 minutes of the first episode. I'm like, done. I can't fucking deal with this.
How is this show ongoing? How's this series ongoing? Why do people love this? I'm sorry, man. Girlfriend is not no one for me, man. It gets worse, KG, and drags on. But I'm gonna be honest with you, Evie. I have not had a horrible anime in a while. As you already know, the Isekai Shit Magician that we've talked about a couple of months back or even a year back.
That Ragnarok anime too.
Yeah, I just stopped after the first episode. That's not a series I'm really gonna devote my time to. So, the one that's happening this season, I believe that you're talking about. But the other Ragnarok that also was like a few years back as well that I also hated too, and say to somewhat of an extent, what was that other one? Sing Yesterday for me too, which also hurt my feelings because it was so good and then it got to the fucking ending and I was so depressed by that shit. Yeah, it's like these like girlfriend is really going up there as being another one of those horrible shits that I'm gonna watch only just because I need to see how ridiculous this show is gonna get, man. How stupid could this show get, man?
I might have to jump in the ship for that one too.
I really want to know. Bad anime. Just look at the special episode for one. Oh no! Come on! I hate that they ruined Wonder Egg, man. Wonder Egg had
Don't
so
tell
much.
me, Dad.
Listen, the special episode came out not too long ago, and that special episode is supposedly to be the conclusion to the first season, I guess you could say, of Wonder Egg.
Mm-hmm.
No. It gets worse, buddy. It gets worse. And like, if you want, just stop at like maybe episode 10 and just call it that. You just call it a wrap. The fucking way it ended was like.
Wait, hold up. Just episode 10? So whatever happened to 11 and 12?
You mean the final episodes? I thought those were the ones that tied into that arc, and I'm like, no. That last episode just ruins all of that shit, man.
Well, shit, there's that.
Yeah, it's because, like as Donnie says, it's a 24-minute recap and there's no fucking ending to it. It's just there. And it makes you so frustrated because you come out with more questions than you do with answers, man. And it's so annoying that it had to be like that. But that's just how it is. So,
well, that's unfortunate.
Indeed.
All right.
But yeah, don't worry if you haven't watched it. Don't watch it. just don't. Just stay as far away as possible from that shit, man. All right, but that's all the anime I have to talk about from this season overall. You know, it's just like some things I really want to get into just to let people know exactly what we're watching for this season because there's not really that much. Honestly, this season I think is going to be a pretty weak one per se, aside from the ones that everybody's familiar with, like My Hero, Slime, Dragon Maid per se, and that's really it as far as that kind of goes. You know, but like for some of the original ones, like Bokutami no Remake, or Bokutachi no Remake, I forgot what I said before, or say the Death, you know, the Duke of Death and his maid, or
Lieutenant is already dead too.
yeah, so these kind of shows, I think you'll get a good kick out of them. It's mainly like a lot of slice of life with a mix in of some action here and there, but for the most part, I think this season is going to be pretty tame for the most part, so. I just felt like this would be a perfect opportunity to talk about it. Kind of curious to see where these stories are going to go. I feel like the best way to summarize this series is that, or this season as a whole, is it's going to be unique, but a lot of the plot elements to them are so obvious that you know what's going to happen by the time you get to the ending. You feel like you already spoiled yourself by just simply coming up with the idea in your head rather than seeing the story play out on its own, you know?
Yeah.
That's just how I feel about it. But what about you, Evie? Like, what do you think of this season so far?
Yeah, I'm kind of with you there. I feel like this season, it does have some good shows. But I feel like it's more, like, relaxed compared to the other seasons, if that makes any sense. Like, there are some good original series. Like, I'm seeing on my anime list, I do see some good scores on some of them. But nothing really too eye-poppy, nothing really exciting coming out this new season. But there's definitely some good shows that you could get out of it. But really, everything's been... I say this summer's going to be more relaxed on the anime side of things.
Yeah. But that's fine anyway. I mean, why would all these animators come out right now knowing that Dragon Maid is here this season? They don't want to go and compete against Dragon Maid. I mean, let's be real here. Dragon Maid about to take every single award in this season, buddy. And everybody's attention alongside with that, too. So, that's all I got to say.
Can Dragon Maid beat Family?
I don't know, man, but he was able to beat Thanos. Fucking card. Holy shit.
Oh, you got that retweet, did you?
Yeah, dude, I saw that shit. You retweeted that shit. I was so thrown the fuck off. I was like, oh, yeah, it's going to be Captain Marvel. Is it? Nah, it's fucking Family Man over here. That whole Toretto meme has been an absolute enjoyment, man. It shouldn't be as funny as it is, but it really is a lot of just good timing and jokes and whatnot. Even some for video games I didn't think would work. Like, there was one for Xenoblade Chronicles 2 I saw. There was one for fucking Guilty Gear. There was one for Danganronpa. Like, holy shit. So there's some good ones. Even one for Persona 5 as well, which I thought was hilarious too. So, all right. Well, that's all the anime I got to talk about for this time around. Not much more other than that. However, though, to everybody else who might not be familiar right now, with what happened not too long ago, I took this opportunity to watch the Diamond and Pearl series in its debut not too long ago with our community on Friday, because since there was no episodes that were releasing at the time, a lot of us were kind of questioning, well, if there's no episodes to watch this season or this week, like, what the hell am I going to watch then, right? So the community decided, hey, why don't we go and watch the first 3 episodes of Diamond and Pearl then, you know, and see what we think of it. But we never really gave a full-on review to those first 3 episodes. So I thought, hey, we have no episodes to review this week. What do you guys say we do a review for the first 3 episodes of the Diamond and Pearl anime? Because we took
that would be nice, but I haven't watched those 3 episodes in 14 and a half years. So
I know, but I have, so that's why I'm going to be talking a little bit about it. And maybe it'll help refresh your memories at some point as well during this discussion. So I hope you guys don't mind as I just gush over just a little bit about the Pokemon Diamond and Pearl anime debut. Because the debut was actually 3 episodes. I didn't know this at first. I thought it was just 2 episodes, but it was actually 3 episodes.
It was 3 episodes, and on the original broadcast, Kimi no Soba they only played once, so you had 3 episodes plus a slight clip show in the middle of it.
Indeed, and I do want to talk a little bit about some of the stuff because there's a little cute trivia facts here and there that I want to talk about because I thought this was interesting. For example, I want to talk about some of the eye catches that we had in this episode too. For example, did you guys know that Ash in AG style actually had an eye catch in Diamond and Pearl before they eventually swapped it out for his DP attire? I did not know that. So that was the one instance where we actually got to see AG Ash in an eye catch in a different series. I think this is the only series that does that currently, if I'm correct, that has done this kind of thing, because this is the only series, if I recall off the top of my head, where Ash actually entered a new region with the previous generation attire in it. So, as you can see right now, you see AG Ash here talking to Brock and Paul in his AG attire rather than his DP attire, which I thought was pretty cool. I don't know why I love AG Ash's attire. I thought that was actually pretty nice. But let's talk a little bit about the story. So how does this first episode play out? So the first episode of the Diamond and Pearl anime begins with one thing. It kicks things off with us focusing 100% of it, well, except the last 5%, I guess you could say, of just straight up Dawn's story, following a maiden's voyage. It begins our adventure with learning a little bit about just exactly how trainers get themselves to become Pokemon trainers as a whole, and what better way to show it off than with a brand new girl for this series known as Dawn, who is set to start her own journey. She gets up right in the morning and just begins to admire her hometown, Twin Leaf Town. And as she begins to prepare her journey, you get to see her have a discussion with her mother. I believe her mother's name is Johanna. And, of course, everyone remembers her alongside her signature Glameow. But the big thing about it is that you know that her mother is a very iconic coordinator. All these trophies, all these ribbons you see in the living room, just filled to the brim with all this good stuff. We'll get more into that soon, Rob, so I'll talk about that in just a bit. But you get to see all this stuff, just kind of getting you a setup as to exactly what Dawn is trying to become. And that's simply like her mother, a top coordinator. So she begins fantasizing about being a Pokemon performer, begins thinking about like how she's going to act with the 3 random starter Pokemon that she could get from this region: Turtwig, Chimchar, and Piplup. So as she begins to leave for her journey, this is where my first big laugh comes in. I forgot. She took just this giant ass suitcase, like not a suitcase, but like a luggage, like a big ass luggage that you would take to like an airport, and she took that shit with her, like as if she's gonna be traveling with that giant ass luggage throughout her entire journey. Even her mother was so confused by it that she even opened that shit up, saw all the PJs, saw all the attires, and is like, why are you with this big ass bag right here, this big ass luggage? Let's just turn it into a little small bag, to which she did. And just pretty much told Dawn to scram at that point, and Dawn did, going to the laboratory in, what was the town again? I forgot what it was called. Sandgem Town, was it?
Sandgem, yeah.
Yeah, Sandgem Town. So
I almost thought it was Orbird, but that's where the first gym is.
yeah, Sandgem Town is where you actually get to meet Professor Rowan's laboratory and begin to, start your journey there. But I also didn't seem to realize that Dawn is basically like Zoro from One Piece. She has no sense of direction. I didn't realize that was her shtick in the first episode. She thought she was going in the right direction, and somehow she ended up on the right side of the town instead of the left side of the town, or vice versa. She could not find herself anywhere in terms of getting to the laboratory until she accidentally bumps into Professor Rowan. And that's when you begin to realize, oh shit, I bumped into the professor. Well, the professor sees me, knows I'm going to become a trainer. He leads me to the lab, and that's when we begin to see the first act of the story play out, which is basically that the professor's assistants are all chatting and examining the Pokemon and getting them prepped up for when they're going to be heading off to their respective trainers. This is where the situation occurs because the Chimchar ends up stealing the last bit of Piplup's food, which causes Piplup to get into a bit of an outrage, attacking the Chimchar and causing some collateral damage to occur in the lab, and opening a window, causing all the Pokemon to flee, including the birds. But what was hilarious is that while all this shit was going on, you see this little ass Turtwig over here to the side, still chowing down on his food, doing absolutely nothing of any negative sort, yet for some reason Turtwig still gets scolded by the professor when he takes a look at the Pokemon. I was like, bro, my boy Turtwig was doing nothing wrong, yet he was getting scolded on by
I
the
didn't think he was
professor.
getting scolded. I think the Professor Rowan's face is just weirdly straight.
No, yeah, it's so like stern. It's so no, I'm saying that like
It's
from the
one of those
perspective, it looks
people-
like it was getting
yeah.
scolded by it.
It's one of those situations where it looks like he's mad at you, but he's not. He literally is just looking at you.
Yeah. So as the adventure continues, you see Dawn. She decides to help out by trying to look for the starter Pokemon because she says, "Hey, listen, these are going to be my Pokemon. I need to bond with them, and what better way to do that than by trying to go and look for them?" So she tries to look for the Chimchar, she tries to look for the Piplup. She succeeds in finding the Piplup, except she sees that the Piplup is attached to a giant-ass web created by all these Ariados here, and through the intelligence of Dawn, thinking about using Pokemon food as a way to distract the Pokemon and to get the Piplup away, they managed to kind of break through until the Ariados use their web string attack to grab Dawn and pull her back until Piplup decides to use Bide by collecting all of the attacks that the Ariados were using and just launches this giant-ass Bide attack on all the Ariados, and they just get blasted off like Team Rocket, basically, causing Dawn and Piplup to finally be safe and try to head back to the lab. Along the way, though, and this is what threw me off, along the way, as they're going there, they end up somehow in Lake Verity. And in that moment, they see the legendary Pokemon of the lake. And then Professor Rowan talks about that said Pokemon. And I didn't realize that they were setting that shit up since episode 1 of the series. I completely forgot that Dawn met that lake Pokemon in the first episode. I felt like that was something that was like maybe in the 10s or in the 20s. Never did I think that was being set up in the first episode of the series. So you knew that they were trying to plan something in advance since episode 1 with Dawn at least. So that was something really cool to note. As the episode begins to wrap things up, with everybody finally getting their proper conclusion, all the characters getting back at the lab and whatnot, Dawn decides to go with Piplup. Piplup agrees. They both bond. Dawn gets Pokeballs and a Pokedex as well. That looks like a Nintendo DS, which makes perfect sense, of course. And after that, we get to see that these characters start heading off to their Pokemon journey, riding away from the lab as Professor Rowan and the assistants begin to wave away, and she departs. And you think the episode ends there because it gets to like that to be continued segment, like when it just goes small and whatnot, like in the traditional series back in the original series. However, this is when you realize, oh shit, she's not the only main protagonist. Right, Ash, where has he been this entire storyline? Well, turns out Ash and Pikachu, as well as Apom from the AG series, are still on the ship, bound for the Sinnoh region. And Ash begins to talk about the Sinnoh champion and all that while you see the Team Rocket trio in the background. And unfortunately, this causes Team Rocket enough time to go and snatch the Pikachu and use their signature balloon to fly away. And it looks like for the most part it's going to succeed until Meowth and Jessie have a bit of an argument, which causes them to get blasted off and also causing Pikachu to get lunged away in a different direction as well. So the episode ends with Pikachu being fallen from the skies into the forest below as Ash and Apom are trying to run towards that said Pokemon as Dawn is cycling in a different direction. And that's how the first episode ends. So for the first episode, as a way to introduce Dawn as a character, I think they did an amazing job with that. I think they gave her all the time that she needed. They gave her the way to just kind of learn about her character, learn about her dynamic, learn how she would work with Piplup, learn about like her creativity with like the Pokefood stuff and whatnot. So Dawn as a character, I really grew attached to in the first episode. I think they did an amazing job with that overall. So good first start. Let's get into the second episode, why don't we now? 2 degrees
Are we doing like a review of the entire Diamond and Pearl series in one go?
Yes, we're doing that. And it took me 15 minutes to do episode 1. So
there's 140 something episodes.
No, we're talking about the first 3, just to remind everybody.
191.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
Yeah,
191.
so let's get into episode
Well, we're
2.
gonna be here for a bit.
I mean, we have half an hour. We'll be fine, buddy. I just wanted to refresh everybody's memory because, it has been, 15 years since
Will we
this
be able
series.
to put input or?
Of course, whenever you want to. I finished the first episode, so if you have anything you want to say for the first episode, then go right ahead. Unless you want me to just finish the 3 episodes, get through those right away quickly, and then we could just do a full-on breakthrough of the first 3. Whichever way you want to do that.
Yeah. Go
Okay, let
ahead.
me quickly go through episode 2 and then episode 3 because episode 1 was the big one, whereas episode 2 is kind of like the breathing part of the 3 acts because it's like just kind of setting things up for what's gonna happen. But anyway, let's go through it quickly. Episode begins. Dawn's going through grassy field. She gets out of the bike, calls out the Piplup to join her, and they just begin to just kind of reflect upon what they're going to be doing for this journey of theirs. Until they encounter a wild Baneri. I believe this wild Baneri is going to be an ongoing gang that's going to continue on throughout the series. Just a hunch. And so they try to attack the said Pokemon, and unfortunately things don't go so well for them, and they begin to, be a little saddened by it. But of course Dawn decides to say, hey, listen, what? If we don't succeed this time around, next time we will. So they have moments like this throughout this episode where Dawn successfully attacks the Pokemon with Piplup, and Piplup begins to call Dawn's attention, be like, yo, I hit the Pokemon. It's right over there. Dude, it's right on the ground. Use your Pokeball. And Dawn's like, oh my god, I'm so happy I got a hit on the Pokemon. She forgets to throw the Pokeball, and the Pokemon scurries away by the time she gets the Pokeball. And Piplup's like, oh, god damn it. So we get to see that. However, moving along then, just quickly brushing through everything aside, Dawn encounters the Pikachu that was blasted away from Team Rocket in the beginning of the first episode, and they begin to have a fight with each other. This is where the signature bike electric shenanigans occur for Dawn this time around in this series, and Dawn's bike unfortunately gets electrocuted by Pikachu. So, hey, continuity, right? Great. So, moving along, as this whole situation's going on, Pikachu is extremely exhausted from the events that happen, and it doesn't get any better because Team Rocket decides to come and interrupt the scene as well, and they begin to fight Team Rocket for the first time. Dawn, Piplup, and Pikachu succeed in battling them, and Pikachu is all pretty much exhausted at this point. Dawn decides to take the Pikachu to Jubilife City, or not Jubilife City, she takes her to a Pokemon Center to heal up the Pikachu and try to see if they can find some sort of assistance in finding the owner for Pikachu, because when she threw the Pokeball at the Pokeball didn't work, indicating that, yes, it does belong to a trainer. Meanwhile, as this is all going on, Ash is trying to look for the said Pokemon. Doesn't really do so well on that part because he's just using a monkey. However, the interesting thing to note about this segment of the episode is that Brock shows up. Yeah, so how the hell did Brock end up in the Sinnoh region? Well, it turns out that he actually took a truck driving with some chick over there. And they seemed like he was going to plan himself on going throughout the region of Sinnoh together with this truck girl. And things were looking well for the most part. Until the driver was like, hey, my boyfriend just called me. He wants me home soon as possible. So we're going to have to cut our time short. All right, buddy? I'll see you later. Bye. And she just leaves Brock right then and there in the middle of the road with the boy Ash. And you see Ash's reaction to it. He's just like, well, I guess I'm stuck with him again for another series. And here he is indeed stuck with him. So Ash and Brock finally together. The dynamic duo. They begin to work together to try to locate Pikachu. Now let's get to the interesting bit about the episode. Team Rocket. What's happening with Team Rocket? Well, it turns out James found his summer cottage. Specifically, his second summer cottage, where he used to go when the first one needed to be cleaned, because that's how it works, apparently, to James' family's line. So, James ends up going into his second cottage. He finds this section where is his playroom, finds his box that holds all of his first bottle cap collection, if you know continuity for that part. And he encounters a Pokemon, specifically a Pokeball, that contains a Pokemon inside there, and that Pokemon is Carnivine. Yeah, that's right. James gets his first Pokemon in this region, and that's Carnivine in the second episode of the series. I think before Ash even gets his second Mon at this point, which I thought was actually pretty cool to see regardless. So Team Rocket got his next Mon. They're ready to go. You learn a little bit about what's going to go down. Team Rocket's getting set to go to work with Giovanni to take over the Sinnoh region and all that jazz. So Team Rocket, I think, had the best part in this episode. Back in the lab, Professor Rowan contacts Dawn. They talk about Pikachu's trainer. They're saying, hey, let's try to see if we can meet up in a particular route. And so they begin to do so. And as Ash and Brock are trying to head to that said route, it turns out that they encounter a wild Starly, thus starting a fight. Yeah, I completely forgot. Right, back in the series, they actually did battle each other at first. So that was actually really nice to see Ash fighting against a bird Pokemon again for the first time in friggin' who knows how long, actually, because I don't remember when was the last time Ash fought against a Mon, off the top of my head anyway. I think it was a Farfetch, if I recall correctly. But even then, that Farfetch went back to the Pokemon Center with them anyway, so it was like, he didn't really catch him in the moment, per se. But like compared to this one. So Ash catches the Pokemon, he succeeds in getting their Starly, a new companion, and thus the episode ends. However, before the to be continued, we find that Ash is being seen by another trainer, marking that he wouldn't even bother with a Pokemon which was easy to catch. That other trainer was Paul. Moving on into the third episode, when Pokemon Worlds collide, we wrap things up with the series, with everybody finally getting together again, Team Rocket doing their signature shenanigans, the giant-ass robot begins to interfere and getting in the way, and that's when they encounter Paul. Paul is an a-hole, you guys already know this, and they set things up by talking about the 3v3 fight, and Ash was saying, listen, I want to do the 3v3 fight, but I can't because my Pikachu's not around. He gets called pathetic, or something of that sort. And Ash is so annoyed by this shit because he would totally want to kick his ass. And, he can't because Pikachu's AFK at the moment. So, Ash sees the lightning bolt. They realize Team Rocket's there. They fight Team Rocket's thing. And then they save Pikachu. Everybody reunites. By the way, Ash is still in his AG attire at this point. He gets blasted away. Well, not blasted away, but he gets blasted by the giant machine, which wrecks his clothing. And this is when he begins to use his brand new attire that Ash's mother brought from Kanto to Sinnoh. So now you see AG Ash now using his DP form, so that's pretty cool to see. And this is when Ash sees the character Paul yet again, and this is when the 3v3 fight goes down, which is 3 Pokemon. I believe the first battle was a battle between Starly and Starly, the second battle was between Apom and Chimchar, and the third battle was Pikachu and Elekid. All 3 of them duked it out. Starly lost the first one, Apom won the second one, and Pikachu and Elekid both fainted together at that moment. However, Ash stated that, hey, listen, my Pikachu fell down first, so Ash considers it a loss. However, Paul walks over to him and says that, hey, listen, that is what it's called, a draw. A draw is what it is. No matter what, my Pokemon fainted, your Pokemon fainted around the same time. A draw is a draw. Paul pulls out his Pokeball and releases the Starly that he used in that fight, and telling pretty much Ash that, hey, listen, I don't need this Pokemon. There are other Starlies out there in the region that I could catch. It is way stronger than this one, so I don't really need it whatsoever. He says goodbye to Professor Rowan, walks off, and Ash stares at him just angry over the fact of how much disrespect just happened right there in front of his face. And so, Ash, now with Dawn and Brock, and reuniting with Pikachu, they just see this new rival walk off, and the episode just ends like that, on such a weird note, like such a negative note in a way. But it was such a good fucking setup to an ending of this start of the series, and also the start of the rivalry between both Ash and Paul. Everything started in these first 3 episodes, from the legendary Pokemon in Lake Verity to the rivalry between Ash and Paul to even Team Rocket's whole theme as well. Everything all began in these 3 episodes. And that's just how it all kind of concludes in this third act right here. So, what more can I say than DP started off incredibly with these first 3 episodes. This was a phenomenal beginning to a series with this. I'm so happy that they decided to air these episodes back to back to back when it first came out, because it would have felt so incomplete had they just had episode 1 air that week and had to make you wait for episode 2 and episode 3 soon after. But having all of these episodes back to back to back to properly tell a story that they wanted to say and introduce a lot of new elements, a lot of new rivalries, and so much more, they did an amazing job with these first 3 episodes. And also, just to kind of clarify as well, what better thing to also accompany good voice acting and good introductions with also a good OST. Yeah, Shinji Miyazaki's music in this one was at its absolute prime in these first 3 episodes as well. And I mean, it should be kind of obvious. The thing that surprised me was first learning about how Kimi no Soba de Don's theme song had different variations, many variations. I think there's like 3 different variations of that song,
Yes.
not counting the ending theme song in itself, just the variations that they use in the background music. There were so many of them. So overall, in my opinion, rewatching this last week with the community really reminded me just how good this series began and how much I can understand why people love DP so much. Because with such a strong start to a series, what is there not to like, you know? It does all the theming rights, it introduces all the character rights, it gives time to the characters that need it, it introduces a brand new rivalry, introduces a really amazing strong start to a battle, and leave things on such a mysterious note that really makes you want to crave more moving forward in the future. So yeah, that's all I gotta say for this. I'm gonna pass this on to you guys in the call now because I know you guys said you wanted to take this opportunity to talk about the DP stuff. My voice is starting to get a little dry, so I might need to go get some water in the meantime.
Mostly been the you show on this one.
Yeah, and I do apologize for that, but you know,
No, you're fine.
I just
It's
want
yours.
to take.
It's yours.
No, I understand. And like I always like to take this opportunity to have everybody involved. But given that this was just sort of a last minute kind of thing, I
Yeah,
didn't
well,
think
that's
everybody
fine.
would. Yes, I just wanted to take my opportunity to share my first impressions that I had, not only by myself, but with the community too. You know, because over at JPR's Discord, we use the Discord community to have a conversation together as a whole. And they were the ones that brought up the idea of doing the reaction to it live on Twitch, which we did on Friday, which we actually, I guess we could announce it now. We're going to be doing these things called Throwback Thursdays, where we're going to be rewatching the entirety of DP back to back to back. So we're going to be doing that. I don't know if we're going to be doing that this week. I'll talk with the community to see what's going to be happening there, but we're going to be doing more DP rewatches. Obviously, since we finished the first 3, we're going to be watching now from that point, episodes 4, 5, and 6 in the next rewatch. So it's going to be fun to go through the world of Diamond and Pearl once again, as we also have the Dawn return coming literally in just a couple of weeks as well. So that's all I got to say for now. I just wanted this as an opportunity to refresh those here in this call and kind of remind people exactly what happened during these first 3 episodes as best as I possibly can. And also hear your takes on it, because I know it's been many years. It's, as TSS stated, it's been 15 years since these episodes aired. Almost 15 years to say. You really want to just at least get a refresher for how these episodes played out. And to me, like I said, I had a good time. But now I'm going to go get water.
Right.
I'm going to pass these on to you guys. So please take it away. If you have any
All right.
fond memories of Diamond and Pearl, go right ahead. I'm going to go get water now. So
Okay, so the first 3 episodes of DP aired on September 28th, 2006 as part of a 2-hour special. It included the 3 episodes and also a clip show, which was basically a recap. But let's start at the beginning. As far as we know, this is the beginning of the special has the only instance of where Mizaze Pokemon Master original karaoke is being used. It was used for about maybe 10 seconds. Then after episode 2, we get the clip show, and the clip show consists of introducing, basically going through Shigeru's rivalry with Satoshi, along with introduction of Pikachu and their journey. Then you see Takashi from episode 6 on the Nibi Gym stuff, and then we fast forward to the League. Well, before that, we have the Rockets introduction in episode 2. Then we have the Nibi Gym stuff with Takashi, and then we go to the League we go to the Kanto League first, where Satoshi loses to Shigeru, and then we go to the Johto League where he wins against Shigeru, and then there's a quick recap of AG, but very briefly. Actually, no. Before that, though, there was the send-off episode 275 from the clips in 275 where everybody goes on their own way. Then they introduce Advanced Generation, and they only show basically like the league result the Hoenn League result, and also the final contest where Haruka and Satoshi tie, and then that goes into episode 3. Now, in that special as well, in that special clip show, it's also I find it very interesting that they use the movie 6 version of Advanced Adventure instrumental instead of the one used in the bulk of the series. So that's very interesting. Well, that's because they wanted to make sure they have because AG just ended. That's why they didn't go into much detail with that clip show, because literally it just ended like a few weeks prior. So everybody knows the result of Advanced Generation. So then after episode 3 airs, we get Kimi no Soba de, the first ending. But this is the special one because it shows credits for all 3 episodes, which is not on the DVD versions or in the international versions. Also, in addition, the DP1 is also the first episode until the end of X, Y, and Z, where the series starts to use variable frame rate, VFR, between 24 FPS and 2997. 2997 in DP would only be used mostly in panning shots. I will have to go back into the HD episodes to see if they used 2997 in CG as well. I have to go and look through, have to use TIVTC and do some analysis with that. Then at the end, after Kimi no Soba de plays, there was a contest. There was a present quiz, which 10 people were awarded a copy of Diamond and Pearl, along with the special edition Dialga and Palkia DS Lite. And then before that, however, that was at the end of the show. But before that, after just after the credits, they showed all of the main Pokemon that appeared during the first 3 episodes, along with their dex entries in the games. They actually showed a screen. They showed footage from Diamond and Pearl, the Diamond and Pearl games, and then also had the dex on screen for each of the Pokemon. So you have the 3 starters. You have like Mukuru, you had Maskipa, which is Carnivine, and Glameow, all that stuff. So with that being, and then at the end of it, I did like the fact where Mukuru or Starly was freaking mosaicked. I am gonna try to get the clip up. Maybe I'll get some clips from that special up sometime in the future. Maybe I'll wait until the 15th anniversary. I think I'll wait until the 15th anniversary of when it airs, because that's coming up, as I said, on September the 28th. So let's see, September the 28th. Yeah, I can wait until then. That's fine. I'd rather wait until that because there's a lot of notable clips from that clip show. So stay tuned for that. But I still need to rewatch Diamond and Pearl 1 through 3 in its entirety. Like I said, I have not watched any of those 3 episodes since probably, I want to say, March of 2007, because obviously, as I mentioned before, I haven't watched most of these episodes from mid to late AG onwards since they originally aired. So we're talking about anywhere between 2005 and like 2010. Like literally, once I watch an episode, the file stays there, but I don't watch it again, and that's what happens. But we'll see what happens. I want to do an AG rewatch myself because that, like I said, many of those episodes I have not watched in 16 or 17 years. So I need to go ahead and do that. But overall, very solid start to the series. Very solid start to Diamond and Pearl. It's too bad they kind of fucked up towards the middle and the end, but that's a story for another day. And that's all I have to say. Next.
Okay. So for me, since we're talking about mostly just the first 3 episodes and Dawn's introduction, I guess. To me, and obviously I'm usually known as the controversial one here. Dawn's introduction, it seems a little familiar. It seems Seems like I've seen it before. Seems I watched it from front to finish. Let's see. We got her dreaming about each starter Pokemon she's gonna get. Okay. We've got her kind of having a weird relationship with the professor when she shows up. Starter Pokemon that's disobedient but warms up later. Horde of Pokemon attacks main character. Starter Pokemon risks its life in order to save it. At the end, they meet a legendary Pokemon. I feel as though I have a sense of deja vu here.
Yeah, I said those things like 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting to a thing. Hold on. Oh yeah, that's right. Ash did all that shit. Okay, so when I first watched Diamond and Pearl, I obviously knew Ash was in it because they were continuing the events that happened from AG. The problem here, I think, with Dawn, at least to me, for this intro, is that this all would have been fine and dandy for a new generation of audience if Ash was absent. But obviously, his rivalry with Paul, to me at least, carries this entire fucking series. When people reference Diamond and Pearl, they mostly talk about Ash's rivalry against Paul. Very rarely do I see people bring up like Dawn's contest, except for like the grand festival that she had against Zoe and her fight against May. And that's because May's a character from an older series. But I never really see anyone talk about her other contests. I think she had one where like her hair was sparkly or some shit. And then she had one where like she had one, I guess, where Patrice was acting kind of weird. They all just sort of weirdly like are in and out. Now, one time, and Coral quoted me actually, I stated that Dawn feels like a Frankenstein of other characters that sort of like exist already. And that's because we're jumping off from AG where we had an established coordinator already, which was May. So Dawn, obviously being the next logical step for female lead, winds up taking the coordination role. And while being a coordinator was good and all for May, because it was like the first time we had been exposed to something other than the casual gym battles that Ash was doing in Kanto and Johto, here it's pretty much confirmed off gate that Dawn's doing the contest. And thus, your average Pokemon watcher is like, okay, so we got our female doing our regulated contest role. And thus, all eyes are more than likely going to be on Ash as a result. Now, that's not to knock the contest. That's just sort of how this thing's been going. Contests, while they are entertaining in their own right, have shown to be obviously less popular than the actual journey of going to get all the gym badges. Case in point, like, from what I hear, most people tell me that when they watch Pokemon, they normally watch to see Ash's gym battles. Like, they very rarely remember May or Dawn, to that matter's contest. Now, one of my criticisms with Dawn sort of starts at the beginning here, where I kind of wish the show was just about her. If we axed Ash completely, then I think this would have been a lot easier for me to digest. When you put a character who's gone through the same stuff as Ash and the exact series as Ash, then things get a little muffled, because Diamond and Pearl is like one of the last Pokemon series to really like use the past as a direct reference. Yeah, Best Wishes obviously does it, but Best Wishes does it at last minute. Like after the league, and pretty much when Ash decides, oh yeah, I'm going to talk about Charizard because that's relevant now apparently. Only for him to like put it on his team and it serves basically no purpose. Like, I'm not even sure why it's there. Here we run into a situation where we have a character that's well established and can hold her own as a main character, but the show really wants to play it safe, so they add Ash and Brock. Ash obviously has a plot-related reason why he needs to be here, but Brock feels like he's just dumped into this series. Like, literally, it feels like he's quite literally dropped off into the show. Like a girl comes in and yeets him out of her truck, and now he's Ash's problem. Ash and Dawn's problem. They really needed to axe Brock, at least at this point. Like, even the show realized that Brock was sort of like here because they make a joke about it in one of the movies where Brock's like, I'm sensing a pattern. Like, they openly acknowledge that Brock's existence in this show is little next to nothing, other than to serve food and sort of like heal the Pokemon when they need it, which are roles he already fulfilled in AG, Johto, and Kanto respectively. Obviously, like I said before, Ash and Paul's rivalry is a very strong and unique rivalry, but it takes away a lot of like Dawn's character, and like in the sense that most people, like I said, remember Diamond and Pearl mostly for Ash's rivalry against Paul. It is the forefront of the entire series, and this isn't even for me knocking Dawn. This is me just stating what I usually hear people talk about when they talk about Diamond and Pearl. They talk mostly about Ash's rivalry against Paul and how it's one of the best rivalries in the series, and you're not going to hear any arguments from me there. This is pretty much the epitome of how Pokemon rivalry should actually be done. To this day, even for all the series I've watched, rivalry-wise, Paul is the best Pokemon trainer to be Ash's rival because he kind of represents how modern society views Pokemon. If a Pokemon's not good enough, throw it out and use a better one. If a Pokemon's not performing at its optimal strength, then it obviously isn't good enough, so you need to use the better Pokemon. Competitively wise, you use the most statistically suited Pokemon. These opposing ideals and thoughts are obviously what we go off of. Train a Pokemon all the way up to its highest level and make it strong as it can be and use that? No, why do that when you can genetically breed a Pokemon that's physically designed in order to win a battle based on IVs and statistics? Obviously, there's a level of skill that needs to take place here, and there's a rivalry which contrasts Ash's, like, ideals. And what better way to bring a rival like Paul into the series than to bring him into the series in which the DS was released, and where Nintendo Wi-Fi is officially announced, and thus you can battle people online. So literally the competitive online set was released and Paul was released at the exact same time. Almost like a, hey, trainers like this exist. And this isn't even Pokemon's first time doing this. I mean, and I remember in the Johto episode, I don't know if you guys remember it, it's an episode where this guy has a Scizor, and he refuses to battle any trainers because he has a laptop that simulates all the results of the battle before it actually happens. And thus, he doesn't need... Yes,
I use that for an AMV, yeah.
Yeah, and he doesn't need to fight. But Ash ends up fighting him and proves him completely wrong because he's using skill and he's using, willpower, something that can't really be calculated. And thus he gets his ass handed to him. His ideals get flipped. And thus he learns to use statistics in combination with battling. Paul's way of battling may seem very strict, but it's not necessarily wrong. There's nothing wrong with investing in a Pokemon and raising it right, and being statistical about it to where you use your research and your common knowledge in order to engage in battle. But we can clearly see that the focus is on this, and it's either make this a journey about Ash dealing with that type of rivalry against Paul, which I think would have worked very well with Ash's journey in the Sinnoh region along with his friends, or make it about Dawn, who clearly is entering the contest and wanting to enter the Grand Festival, which she has a really great start in the sense of she idolizes her mother, who's really good. Now, that's the difference Dawn does stand out on. Dawn's entire debut is literally mirroring that of Ash's, but her one difference, her one outstanding feat that I can praise the series for is that her mom is really good at being a coordinator. She is a known famous coordinator, and thus Dawn has someone to look forward to. They could have done something where she tries to replicate her mom in almost every sense, but it falls flat because it's not her battle style. She grows into her own and becomes her own. But the show immediately drops this. They do it pretty much when Dawn makes it to the first major city with Ash and Brock. Her mother literally goes, "You don't need to tell me everything that you're doing." And after that, the show just doesn't really compliment anything anymore with her mother. Her mother does make a comeback on occasions, but not enough to reflect on Dawn's character. the start of the series very much gives us gold. It gives us an idea of what if a trainer grew up, but this trainer was idolized by someone who's already a well-established coordinator. What happens? But the show doesn't do anything with that. Instead, the show plays it safe and has her copy, Ash, which kind of hurts it. I mean, there's some parts that are good to take away and some bad parts to take away. So that was one of the things that I like to think about a lot when I watch these, because I did watch Diamond and Pearl episodes 1 through 3 somewhat recently when Polly, Terrell, me, and I thought TSS was there, but he probably wasn't. We all got together and we watched the Diamond and Pearl episodes for a brief little while because I know Polly was continuing her DP marathon. And they both, if you look at both perspectives, there really should have been almost a Pokemon and then a Pokemon Mega Evolution situation where one, Ash could have had the shorter journey where we see him in occasional OVAs getting better and dealing with his rivalry with Paul and these episodes that come in and out. But the main series should have been about Dawn if they really wanted to make Dawn stand out. Because unfortunately, while as good of a idea that Dawn has, it always falls flat because it's dealing with a trainer who's dealt with these things already. Like Mamoswine disobeying her. That's basically the Charizard situation. A lot of things that Dawn does mirror stuff that Ash and the others have already accomplished already. So it's not really any surprise when we see them here because we've seen them already. A lot of people think that I hate Dawn just for the sake of hating Dawn, as if I'm some crazy fan that just has something against her. No, my problem is that my main problem with Dawn as the years have gone by and I've looked at it and really analyzed it is that she's often pushed back. She's not that outstandingly risky as a character. May, to me, in contrast, was an extreme risk. What happens when you take somebody who doesn't like Pokemon and throw them into the Pokemon world? That type of upbringing is amazingly inclusive for a character like May. She used Pokemon as a way to travel. Her father's a gym leader. Her mother likes cute Pokemon. Her younger brother is a Pokemon geek. So what do you do when you have a family who loves Pokemon, but you got a girl who doesn't give a shit about them? She's just using it as a get out of house free card. But she slowly becomes enamored with the world of it and slowly becomes that trainer that she didn't realize she wanted to be. Whereas Dawn, she knows what she wants from the gate. So there's not really much of an arc to go by. She wants to be a good coordinator. She becomes a decent coordinator. That's her arc. I'm not trying to bash her either. I'm making that full disclosure. I'm using what I physically see on the TV screen. She starts off as a somewhat okay coordinator that does kind of bad. But actually she does good for the start and gets in on her head, over her head. She gets stomped, gets hit with reality, makes a comeback, and then gets relatively better, but doesn't even close her character arc by beating Zoe. So now we've just got this, well, she's okay. She's alright. And you would think, in the best wishes when she came back, oh, this would make her a lot better. I mean, it doesn't really do much for her. She just sort of, becomes, if anything, she's there as to be a stepping stone for Iris's development, which, I mean, that's good for Iris. But even nowadays, when she's coming back in Journey, she's supposed to be someone that helps Koharu grow. At this point, Dawn is showing to be a character that helps other characters grow rather than her own self grow. That's why I even complimented if she caught Cresselia in Journeys, that would actually be good for her. It would increase her character. It would give me something to build on top of. Because Dawn that came in Best Wishes to me was the same Dawn that was in Diamond and Pearl. The only difference is that Cyndaquil evolved. And she didn't use it a lot, so who cares? And then you got her coming back in Journeys and you're asking yourself, well, she's wearing the same outfit. We haven't seen her team yet, but for the most part, we see Piplup. What is she doing that's exactly better here than she did back then. And it was up to Diamond and Pearl and Best Wishes to do that job, and they didn't do it. Diamond and Pearl did a lot, but it didn't like nail it home. Best Wishes did practically nothing for Dawn except show her off and have her interact with Iris for a little bit. But after that, she became a stepping stone so that Iris can get better. Literally Mamoswine as a target so that Dragonite can whoop his ass, so that it can go on a rampage, so that Iris can go, oh shit, how do I control Dragonite? And then Dawn can go, yeah, that happened with me and Mamoswine. You're just gonna have to figure it out, I guess. And then once that happened, she left. She's like, all right, well, my required like debut cameo is done. Guess I'll leave. I don't know. This introduction does a really good job for Ash. And I would say in an alternate reality where Dawn had her own show, this would do a really good job for Dawn. But for both in the same like universe, not so much. I do like that Ash is able to do a 3v3 with Paul though, because you know he has Apom from Gate, and then he catches Starly. He catches obviously his Starly from the beginning, and Paul ends up releasing his. So we get this 3v3 on Ideals, where one trainer has one and the other has the other. I kind of wish that, I don't know, in the league, I kind of wish Staraptor was able to beat Murkrow in the league, Hunchcrow in the league as like a justice thing, but they dropped that rivalry immediately. And Pikachu obviously is no longer Elekid's rival, he's Chimchar's rival. So that becomes its own little thing. And Turtwig, poor Turtwig. Poor Turtwig.
I think Turtwigs are just known to just fail all the time, man. Or the Turtwig line, anyway.
It's very obvious that the way this show started, Turtwig was supposed to be Ash's, like, ace. That was supposed to be Ash's main deal Pokemon. But obviously, since they gave Chimchar to Ash, Spotlight was immediately shined on Chimchar, and thus Turtwig was left to die. But that's for a whole nother discussion. But in terms of the first 3 episodes, Diamond and Pearl, I would say took some interesting routes, but mostly, for me, it was leaning on the Ash side. Dawn, I just wish she had her own, like, series to, like, help her stand out. Because, unfortunately, while Dawn is a well-received character by a lot, mostly due to the generation shift, that being the fact that this is some people's first exposure to the anime, weirdly enough, and not Pikachu, I Choose You, we get the same perspective before a new audience. This was during a chapter where literally like an entire new set of kids was set to watch Pokemon. So when they were introduced to Dawn, this is obviously their introduction, which would be the introduction of Diamond and Pearl. The show makes very clear that Ash doesn't get shown until the very end of the episode. To let you know, hey, don't worry, older viewers, Ash is still here. Like, it's very clear they're trying to have their cake and eat it too. Bring on a new character with new possibilities and a possibly new series in an arc, while still having the old character here to remind older fans that, hey, stick around, Ash's journey ain't over. It was a lot. It's one of the big problems Journey runs into right now. But I digress. That's pretty much all I have to say because I know we're running in time.
No, man, if you ever have stuff to talk about, man, we always do these things. Don't worry about it. That's why I said, like, when I talked about the stuff at the very beginning, it was perfectly fine, and passing it on to you guys. I can imagine you guys, as much as I do, have just as much to say, given that Diamond and Pearl is a series that has already been over a decade and a half now. There's just so much to talk about, especially with the return of the character.
Yeah, I feel that I'm gonna need to at least watch it again in full, at least the 3-episode special along with the clip show, because like I said, there's some aspects, because you gotta remember, from a person who watched this when it originally aired, there's things that I thought then versus now, but in order for me to get to the now, I need to rewatch it just as I did the exact same thing that I watched. I mean, as much as I would like to do the DVD route, because that's available because they're rental DVDs, I don't think it's going to capture the same sort of vibe because I watched it when it was originally airing. So
Mhm.
I need to take that time and analyze it from, 15 years on and see what has
Yeah.
changed and what I remember versus what was actually put in forth. So, like I said, I have to think about what was my mindset coming into it after ending AG at that time versus now, which I have all the knowledge that I know now. It's kind of like people going back and rewatching a series like Seinfeld after you've watched almost all the season. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much like that. So, mhm. Gotta watch a sub. The problem is DP94 non have it. The only ones that have are episode 2, 9, and 10, and that's it. Because those are that's it. Though, if the folks that want to see, that at the moment, 2, 9, and 10
Yeah.
are the only ones that exist. Also that bad freaking Databayo one where it's like translotted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember Naruto would say it a lot.
Well, yeah,
Okay.
because literally those were the guys who did Naruto back in the day.
Yeah.
And they got like typos, they got the move names wrong. It was a mess. I still have it so I could laugh at the translotted stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, see, like, I want to make something very clear because I've changed a lot throughout the years too, and TS has brought up a good point. Obviously, when time changes, your perception changes. KG brought this up too, like way back then when he talked about other series. Is like when time passes, your opinion has the ability to change. I know your opinion can obviously go through changes as well. My opinion of Dawn has been, I would say, relatively consistent in the idea that she's not my favorite of the traveling companions. But I'm very clearly coming from someone who's using the show as its ultimate reference and making a clear-cut example of why I dislike the character in terms of like preference. I don't hate her. She's not like the worst thing to ever hit Pokemon as a whole. It's just out of the characters I've been introduced to and like the upbringing. Also, that honor goes to fucking Max. But out of what I've been given and what I absorb and my analytics of the entire series, what I've been given is a character that doesn't mesh well with me just simply because I've seen this formula done to death. And in Diamond and Pearl, I was sensing this not just from the anime but the games. I feel like Diamond and Pearl to me was the most Gen 4 as a whole was the safe gen. Was the play it safe gen. Contests were in Gen 3, never been done before. Let's do it again. Let's not try anything different. Let's just do the contest thing again because that worked well the first time. What are we doing? Casual gym fights. Meet up with the Pokemon at a rare legendary Pokemon in the first episode. Fight off against the evil team. Like all of these things. The most interesting things that I seen in the anime were when they tried to step out of their comfort zone in terms of how they approach like certain subjects like Hunter J. Hunter J is a very interesting concept of what if we have a consistent bounty hunter who's good at their job as a Pokemon hunter, a competent villain, a competent reoccurring one. But unfortunately, the show kills her. They don't even get the chance to give her like any like real good closure. She dies. I mean, it's off-screen death, but it's death. A lot of the risks that Diamond and Pearl takes don't even come off as risks to me. There's a lot of episodes in Diamond and Pearl that feel as though they're just sort of copying what happened already because it's easier to like write down on paper. Pikachu has to fight a Raichu. It gets its ass kicked. It trains better. Beats Raichu. That's Electric Shock Showdown. The show even points out that it's Electric Shock Showdown. Like, and I'm not knocking it for trying something that has been done. I'm knocking it for, like, not being able to, for having the material to step out of its comfort zone and refusing to do it. And the only few times that we see do it are the times that we remember the most. Paul releasing his Pokemon because he doesn't like it, only for Ash to get it. Ash is taking care of fire Pokemon that have been abused before, but this time he's taking care of a fire Pokemon that belongs to a continuing rival that he's fighting off against. Ash never got the chance to prove to Damien how strong Charmander can really be when it evolves into Charizard. But he does get the chance to show Paul how strong Chimchar gets when it evolves into Infernape and beats Electivire. So kudos on the show for complimenting on a formula that already exists. Here, we have a formula in which, like, for example, Dawn's Piplup refuses to evolve and refuses to get into its Pokeball. Well, Pikachu's right the fuck there! So it just comes off as a copy. Not even a good copy.
Yeah, but I actually have a rebuttal to that, and that is because at the time the Diamond and Pearl started, it was 468 episodes, and the series had been going on for 10 years.
Yeah.
So eventually, what happens is, and this is the problem that was also plagued in Best Wishes XY as well, and well, Sun and Moon was a little bit different, but again, the problem is when you have a series that has existed for such a long time, what ends up happening is you'll have children of generations, they grow up and they move on. So what ends up happening is obviously you'll run out of ideas eventually, so you'll have to redo the ideas. Now, there are some cases where a different take on an idea is a nice fresh perspective. However, though, the idea is an idea. So that's the thing. So, and again, you got to remember this also. So if we could count that, by the time Diamond and Pearl ended, we're talking about, if there are 191 episodes, and that means we're at freaking 667. So like 660 episodes into the series, finally the canon gets rebooted. So to have a show last that long, you think about One Piece and how many episodes that shit has, and it's still in canon. Also, Doraemon. Oh my God! You know how many episodes are in the original Doraemon? Like fucking 1,300 episodes, 1,200, or 1979 series.
And
You think how many ideas have gone on in that specific time, and that ran from 1979 to 2005.
Right, and I think one of the problems I also have too was that when there were times I feel like when the show had something going for it, I feel like they were getting somewhere and they would immediately drop it. Case in point, Apom. Apom was caught from AG, all the way from AG, one of Ash's first 3 Pokemon in Diamond and Pearl. It goes Pikachu, Apom, and Starly, which later on in like XY, we get a trio, we get a region trio, which that being Pikachu, Fletchling, and Froakie. Here, we get a situation where Ash has Apom, trades it over to Dawn, and when and this Apom was watching May's contest, I believe he was watching one of May's contests in the Grand Festival, right? Or no, which contest was Apom watching? Was it a Grand Festival contest? I think it was. Was it Kanto's Grand Festival? Yeah, it was Kanto's Grand Festival because Ash caught it in that moment. So this thing started from the gate watching a contest. And then Ash catches it, and it's interested in more contests, and it's traded over to Dawn. This thing was clearly following an arc. But what do they do with it? Well, you know what happens with Ambipom. It gets thrown away for a ping pong contest. Like, that's a subject that immediately gets dropped and no one really brings it up anymore because it's a waste. It feels like the show was getting so close to getting somewhere, but they needed to throw Ambipom away because we need to advertise Heart Gold and Soul Silver. So, in order to do that,
there were still rumors around DP 136 about the writing team getting changed and stuff, which is not true. But that was But at the time, that was debunked. But the thing was, you have to remember back in 2009 when this happened. A lot of people were pissed off about that whole filler gap of like 18 episodes.
If you truly needed to advertise Heart Gold and Soul Silver that badly, then make it do it like make an OG character that has, which they did. They brought Lyra. They could have had Lyra enter contest and just have Johto Pokemon on her team. The Togekiss, the Cyndaquil, all of that could have been a part of her team. They didn't need to like sacrifice Ambipom for the sake of this unnecessary like add-on. Togekiss comes so late I don't care about it, and Cyndaquil I can't remember it. Like, I know she had one, but I can't remember its personality. And it's just like, the only Pokemon from Dawn that really stuck out to me were Piplup, Pachirisu, and Baneri. So that still leaves her what? That still leaves Togekiss, Cyndaquil, and and Mamoswine. Mamoswine, obviously, that was the Charizard situation done over again. But I never thought that Mamoswine fit Dawn to begin with. I'm gonna be perfectly honest on that one. That didn't feel like a fit to me. But obviously, like, I just feel as though the show was I feel like the show was afraid to go extra miles sometimes. And that unfortunately hurt Dawn's character. And usually when I say I dislike a character, I'm disliking it because they're not using that character to their fullest potential, or they're not exploring what they've got. The reason I praised May so much was because it was a great use of exploring what you have and the possibilities of the world. The main issue I've always had, and people got mad at me for saying that Pokemon wasn't a mature written show, was that Pokemon feels like you got an entire universe of possibility, and you limit it a lot. Like, to this day, I feel like Pokemon has always been limited by these, like, weirdly, like, corporate, we gotta fit this standard situation. We gotta plug in this. We gotta show this off. This game came out, so we have to do this. Yeah, it doesn't make sense for the story, but we gotta show it off because it was in the video games. And just, like, because it's always chained down by these little things, we end up getting things that make little to no sense, or we get these things that aren't meshing well with the story. And the few times they do mesh well with the story, say Shota being introduced as the representative for Oras, they then show that they have the ability to do this, but then they immediately throw that stuff away again when we enter journeys.
Well, then there's another issue along with that.
Right.
In Sun and Moon, and then in 2019 as well, we started getting like Japan exclusive references, which the West has no idea what the hell it is.
Right.
So
exactly.
that further, if you know Japanese culture and what is going on at that time, then you understand what's going on. But to a normal person from the West who's seeing this, dub only, they will have no idea what the fuck that is.
Right. And like I said, Dawn, unfortunately to me, is just a very safe character. And to me, in a world where Pokemon has a crap ton of possibilities for characters that can like take these risks, my biggest issue has through the years, at first I just didn't like her because my exposure to her was from the dub. I never got to learn about it's Hikari in Japan, right?
Hikari.
I never learned Hikari. I learned Dawn. And that was during the time that we got our voice changes, so that was a bad impression from Gate. Her voice didn't mesh that well with me. The writing of Pokemon very much at this point, at least in the dub, felt like it was being very campy, like super campy. So everybody had like that we gotta talk to kids voice, where everything had that weird inflection. And the Pokemon International, like the TPCI, I think, the way their dialogue comes off is very like campy. They've gotten better about it as of now, but back then it was very like.
Well, that's when Taj was still doing it.
Yeah, you had like listen to Ash. His voice, his sentence to be like, be like, all right, Pikachu, we can win this. Let's go. And Dawn would be like, I'll go too. Like, he had these weird inflection pauses in it that I just did not like. So Dawn already came off like bad to me from gate.
Well, and also to be fair, her English voice actress her English voice sounds too old.
Yeah. And I'm sure when she comes back in Master Journeys or whatever the hell it's called in the dub, they'll probably get better because they have gotten better. The dub has noticeably caught up. They're not as good as they were when 4Kids had them, I'm sorry. But, like, and I'm talking about, like, voice interactions. I'm not talking about accuracy. Accuracy, 4Kids obviously, like, flubbed up accuracy. But they talk like people. Like they talked very much like people.
Mm.
My issue with Dawn started off there, and then I just sort of like became this like person of rage towards the character just at that point. And then I very much fed into the whole like everybody knows me for not liking Dawn, so I played it up a little. But as I've gotten older and I've come to actually analyze the character, my issues with Dawn don't come from the fact that I dislike her as a character. My issues come from the fact that she was very limited as a character. They held her back a lot. And there's some things about Dawn that I did find interesting. I like when she called her mom every time she made it to a new city and her mom's like, yo, chill the fuck out. Stop calling me every time you do something. Like, I like that. That's a very real human, like, moment. I like when, like, I don't know if this was an A-Palm or an Ambipom at the time, but she used, like, so many attacks at once one time, you couldn't see her Pokemon. I like that. I like the idea of what if you tried to become flashy in an appeal-based contest, but you become too flashy. I like that idea. That is a good idea. I like when she fought what was the fourth gym leader's name? Or the third gym leader, I'm sorry. What was the third gym leader's name? Was it Marley?
Maylene?
Maylene, yes.
Maylene.
I like when she fought Maylene. She's not collecting the badges, but she is fighting a gym leader. I like that. So there are some ideas I like, but unfortunately the show doesn't ride home with any of them. Ursula, she exists. Kenny, he exists. Like, the show never doubles down on any of it. Zoe doesn't even get beaten, so we don't get to see if she's better than Zoe or not. She just sort of is good against Zoe. She can fight her. Great. But, like, all of it feels like it's so afraid to jump Dawn forward. Either they were planning to use Dawn for the next series, they were planning to have her be a main character, or they were planning to, I don't know. But those two things seem like they're very much, we're afraid to, like, go beyond the distance of what was necessary for this character. And that's mostly what I find upsetting, was that, like, it feels like the show was so afraid to step up with Dawn, and she was a play-it-safe character. She looks exactly like she does in the game. She does exactly like she keeps her Piplup a Piplup the entire time. Obviously, that's because Prinplup and Empoleon are represented through Kenny and Barry. But yeah, she does the Charizard thing like Ash does. I don't know. It was the definition of play it safe. And thus we never got the chance to work with anything. Iris at least had the luxury of, hey, what if we have a girl that calls Ash out on being a child, when in reality she can't even get her own shit together? And it's because she ran out when she was supposed to be taught things at school. So at least you have a character that, like, goes against the mold here, and we learn some bit of a backstory behind her. Whereas in Dawn, we get a character who starts off wanting to be a great coordinator, and she does just that. There's nothing weird about it. There's nothing that's out of the ordinary. There's no real, like, ultimate thing she has to face. Except for the idea of, like, she starts off in contests really well for her first one, but then afterwards she just sort of falls apart. Which would have been interesting in tow. But unfortunately, the show, like I said, the show doesn't really do anything else with it. Once she gets good, once she's established to be pretty decent at contests and she starts getting her ribbons, the show goes, okay, let's keep it going. Like let's continue. It's back to quota. And now she's just like May. She's just doing contests. At least with May, she did noticeably worse in the first Grand Festival and did a lot better in the Kanto Grand Festival. Well, I believe she was in 8th place in the first Grand Festival. She's in top 4 in the next one, if I'm not mistaken. Whereas in Dawn, she's runner up, but like she doesn't even beat the very rival that she gained in Zoe. So it's like, well, then what did you do? What did you do? And people get mad at Ash for being runner up. Like,
All right.
I don't know. It's just an opinion I have, and like I said, I will say admittedly, I've matured a lot, so my opinion on Dawn has mostly become like more disappointment than hatred. I don't hate the character. I want to stress that enough. But I do notice that there's problems with her that I've just witnessed as watching the show move forward. Like, I feel like they wanted to go steps with her, but they got afraid and stepped back.
Yeah, no.
And
I
also
understand.
Diamond and Pearl had plenty of freaking hour-long specials, and that's another topic for another time.
Yeah.
No, but it is interesting to know that how everybody has a different approach. It's like with every generation, you know, like Tyrone, you for X and Y, or TSS with AG, me with Sun and Moon. Everybody always has a different approach in how they like to view things, whether it's seeing the series for what it currently is and trying to work on that, or seeing what it is with what has come from the past and how it established things in the past and how it either bettered or worsened since then and now, you know? So it's interesting to always see how everybody has such a different viewpoint in just their approach to a particular franchise, like with you, Tyrone, and your talk about Dawn's character and how familiar the character can feel at certain points, especially if you've seen the series prior to this one and the ties it has with Ash. So, yeah, I understand wholeheartedly. I think at the end of the day, everybody has their own approach and how they want to take things. So, I hope you had the opportunity, Tyrone, to express your opinions on it.
I kind of wish in my brain that, like, Dawn was harder on herself. I wish the journey for Dawn would have been, like, since her mother is a famous coordinator, Dawn's harder on herself than she needs to be. But they never do that.
No, they do it in the beginning, but then it ends.
Yeah, but they drop it. Like, that's the problem. They drop it. I wish that Dawn put so much pressure on herself to be the mirror of her mother. And then she learns, oh, wait, I'm not my mom. I gotta be myself. But the show's not doing that because, like I said, the writing doesn't go that far. It's Pokemon. But people get mad when I say that the writing's not mature. And I'm like, everybody gets mad and they say, it's a show for kids. We've seen shows for kids do mature shit. Avatar: The Last Airbender is the largely agreed upon, well-written show that's super mature, and it's for kids. So don't use that excuse. You could be for kids and still have mature writing. When I say mature writing, I mean in-depth character growth and like putting characters in situations that obviously would be very varietized and different. Like that's why I liked May so much, because it was a what if we have a character that doesn't like Pokemon in the world of Pokemon? That's interesting to me. But yeah, I digress. Go ahead.
Well, I guess can you compare a Japanese show with a Japanese show? Because as somebody says, I don't think it would be best to compare an English or an American show to a Japanese show, because it does matter. It does, because it does.
Writing still has a universal level of
writing has a universal level, but that doesn't
culture does not.
Yeah, culture does not.
Culture does not.
It has nothing to do with it. A lot of the anime that I've watched deal with things that universally can be a thing.
But it's still based on something that it came from.
Angel Beats, the fear of having to be to accept the way that you lived your life. But once you accept your life and how you lived it, you can die peacefully. That's something everybody can understand. That's got nothing. Oh, only Japan people can understand that.
No, I'm relating You got to understand, as TSS mentioned, it's about the cultural representation. You're wanting to relate something that also came from that same
Different
area, too.
demographic
I
too.
think good writing can be universal. I'm
Oh, I'm
sorry.
not
demographic.
denying that. I'm asking for a show that you can see as a children's show from what was created in Japan.
Angel
to
Beats ain't no
relate-
children's show.
No, it ain't no
Okay,
children's show.
Goggle Master brought up a good point. Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds is actually a very mature take on Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah.
What if we have straight up segregation between two people, two worlds that are completely have engrossed themselves in this like fame and fortune by moving forward in the world of technology? It has separated people. You've got the rich people, or you got the people who live modern lives, and then you got the slums, the people who have to work in order to get what they want, and then they bring those unified together. That's something that universally is understood, that we have impoverished, we have gifted, we have upper middle class, and we have higher class. I'm not gonna subjectify it to what it is based on, oh, it's a kid show and oh, it's a Japanese kid show. No, F that. Good writing can be universal if done correctly.
Yeah, but that's like comparing, like I said, a Bishojo versus Bishonen. That's still freaking different. It's still different.
Yeah.
It's different. It's different. You have different genres and different targets.
It's
So
like
it's like-
relating drama to comedy. Sure, they're both necessarily in the same thing, but they're both different approaches at the
Yeah,
end of
but
the
I'm
day.
comparing a drama to a drama. Like,
Pokemon's no drama.
well, no, I'm saying I'm comparing an anime that has done this before to an anime that's done this before. Why do you think I praise Pokemon XY so much?
Yeah.
So it's proof that it can do it.
Well, to be fair, that came after the DP saga at that point.
My point being, though, I mean, I debatably say AG has done it well too.
Yeah.
I don't praise AG as much as you and TSS and Terrell do, but I very much believe AG has tackled some very mature subjects.
No, understandable. If you,
What do you?
I
yeah,
think
like
it's just
for
at the end
example,
of the day, we're just trying to say that when you're trying to do a connections,
You're
with
trying to
something,
connection.
you
yeah,
want to
you're
make
trying
sure
to
you
connection.
connect it to the same thing it's coming from as well. That's all. We're not asking.
Yeah,
we're not
AG
saying
took a
that your
look.
service is not correct with Avatar and
Yeah.
Pokemon. We're just asking. Try to find a connection that would, I think, make more
Apples,
sense.
apples and apples instead of apples and oranges.
Exactly. Yes, they're both fruit, but they're both from different parts at the end of the day, and you want to try to find two things that mesh together rather than two things that, while yes, they do, still come from different parts of the world. That's all.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Which is why you brought up the Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds one, so that makes sense.
I was gonna say mature writing to me is universal. I think it can be universally understood.
Yeah, that's another
No
thing.
matter where you came from, good writing's good writing. That's just what it is.
But still, good writing is the opinion of a person, because it's like, well, ultimately, whether you think good writing is bad, or the writing is bad or not, somebody had to say yes.
So blame the directors.
Otherwise, it doesn't go from past the planning stages. So somebody thought it was a good idea,
Yeah, somebody had
and
to hassle.
it passed the network.
Yeah.
So don't watch
yes.
the network. Don't watch the network.
Oh, well.
But anyway,
I think we managed to say everything we got to say across. Then
2 hours and 41 minutes too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And now it's 42. Yay. All right, everybody.
Well,
I hope
Life
everybody
University.
enjoyed our super long discussion. I'm surprised it even went as long as it did, because there was no episode today, and I feel like if this is how.
Oh yeah,
things-
because you spent like 40 minutes on anime. That's
yeah.
Yeah, and then I spent a large chunk of time, and I believe TSS went through the history of stuff. So yeah, the three of us usually have a chunk of stuff to say anyway.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, and also with
Hey.
Evie coming in too to also
Yeah.
give his input as
Yes.
well. It was also
you're
just as good.
never bored with us three because we always have something for you.
Yeah, we never agree with
Absolutely.
anything a lot of the time, so we always have different reflecting
and
opinions.
that's why our podcasts are not 30 minutes.
We always have to bicker at
mean-
each other.
I am very much willing to use this as a springboard for a separate topic that I want to do probably one day, where I discuss like the in-depth analysis of like writing and how it's done and the fan base and how they take that. So I'm very much prepared to try to do that when I have the time to like fit it into my schedule, because
Yeah.
I want to No offense, KG. I want to take this topic with me and use it for a later time.
No, you're the only one who ever brings that up all the time anyway. At this point, you might as well try it, you know?
Like, I know it was on your pod, but I want to use it.
Nobody's
That's
stopping.
not licensed by me, so go ahead.
Nobody's
Yeah.
stopping.
Yeah, nobody's stopping you.
Yeah.
Just know for a fact we'll take that idea before you get to do it next week. So
By the
don't
way,
worry about
Coco
it.
comes out in like a day and a half. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
so expect a review to that next week, then, ladies and gents. Not really, but expect to hear people talking about. Apparently, there's something extra in the limited edition or the special edition release of that.
yeah, I have to look at it again, but I believe it's like one of the. It's probably a copy of the script, or at least part of the script, because
there is a script in there. They revealed it, but they
Yeah,
said there's
script.
something extra aside from that as well. Not just the
Uh,
pamphlets, not just the script, not just the book. There's something extra in terms of. Let me see if I could find it.
it's only the pre-order bonus from CD Japan here says an A5 size folded clear file.
Let me see. What was his name? Yuyama? What? No, not Yuma. Who's the director? The one that did X and Y. Shit. I forgot his name. Oh, Yajima.
Yeah,
Here we go. He actually posted a pic about it. Let me see here. Let's take a look here. In addition, a miniature pamphlet and a clear file are included. At the end of the pamphlet, there is also a small special feature that is not in the original. Oops, I can't say anymore. No idea what that's supposed to mean.
Ooh, should be exciting.
Yes.
Also, this will be the first time that we get a Blu-ray release that isn't Yokai Watch in freaking July. I'm happy.
So yeah, there's apparently something extra. I have no idea what's there.
Well, I'm gonna find out in X amount of days.
Wait. Blu-ray Special Limited Edition comes with super luxury benefits. The bonus is the first movie scenario in Pokemon movie history? What? Yeah, I'll just post this to you. You can tell me what you think of it. Also, by the way, Persona 25th anniversary this year, ladies and gents.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you can
Wait,
read that.
25th? Holy shit!
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't know Persona was 25 years old.
that's because nobody
It is.
remembers Persona 1 and 2, that's why.
That's
Yeah,
right.
1996.
Okay.
Mhm. So yeah.
And the website's up.
Yeah, the website is finally up, except with super low res protagonist artwork, sadly. Oh, can you read that for me, TSS,
What?
on the main hub real quick? I can't tell
me
what it's
see.
trying to say. I think it's telling something about like an extra thing in there, but if you can
No,
double
it
check
says,
it.
well, I mean, that's the Tokubetsu. It's the Tokubetsu Genteiba, and it's limited edition. Let's see. What? Chogoka. Like, ultra luxury. Let's see. It's all okay. So it's, great. All right. Let's see here. Nanto Pokemon Eiga. Eiga Shijo. Shijo Hatsu no Eiga no original. This is weird. It's gonna be well, what's gonna happen is gonna be something special that's gonna be included for the first time in Pokemon movie history.
I'm curious about that. 24
Scenario,
films.
yeah. So it's
23 films.
that's supposed to be the original scenario. So they're gonna include the original scenario in the thing, which is a first for these releases.
Huh, I'm curious about that. Well, I guess we'll find out more about that in this week then.
Yeah.
All right then, everybody. So we're gonna go and wrap things up for tonight. I want to thank everybody so much for tuning in for tonight for like 3 hours basically of the pod. This is becoming a common thing I'm noticing as we're getting further and further with the World Podcast. At least recently, anyway. We've done this before, not too long ago, a couple of sessions back. So history repeats itself again. And so next time we come back, ladies and gents, know for a fact we're going to be having the Dawn episode part 1 come through. So look forward to that. Part 2 obviously is going to it's not coming this week. It's the Phalanx episode, I believe. So
Yeah, the Phalanx episode is this week.
yeah. So there's that.
So it's gonna be one of those silly ass playful Pokemon scenario, but I like it because it's like, what if one of the flanks is missing? What happens?
And there's also Ice Cube too, so keep an eye on that Ice Cube as well.
Oh yeah, that's there.
Yeah. Tomorrow, ladies and gents, we're going to be doing the Pokemon Black 2 White through first playthrough as well on my channel at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so make sure to look forward to that as well. Tyrone's going to be having his Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links as well tomorrow, so make sure to tune on
Which is
his
4
channel.
KG because we got to make his deck.
Yeah, so we're going to be on that stream on his side, so make sure to tune in on Tyrone's channel there to get the prelude to the Pokemon Black 2 White 2 continuation. As soon after that, we're going to be having throughout the week just some silly shenanigans. Once again, Diamond and Pearl rewatch is going to be on Thursday. Friday, I believe we're going to be having the reaction night with the Pokemon Journey's return to the anime series in this month. So look forward to that too with the Flinks episode. TSS, you're going to continue on your Persona 3 Fez, correct? Or is there something else you can do?
That's right. Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, part 7 of Persona 3 Fest. Last week was great. Hopefully this week will follow, and stay tuned for that.
Mm-hmm.
We have a fun time, 9 p.m. Eastern, Friday night.
Indeed. So what do you guys say? We call it a night then?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, let's get the fuck out of here.
The fuck out of here.
All right, everybody. Thank you guys for all your love and support. We hope to hear from you guys again next time in whatever session we make for the pod. So until then, ladies and gents, make sure to, of course, always stay safe, stay healthy, and as TSS would always say,
wash your fucking hand.
thank you, buddy.
And thank you, Donnie, for the links.
And with that, we're going to go night-night. So take care, everybody. And as always, make sure to have yourselves an awesome day. Bye, everybody.
Herbal fuck.
Get out!